I was muted. Good evening, welcome back. Goodness, we got a crowd here tonight already, so Revenant, you're first. I guess I was half first, or Zoe was technically really first, if you will. Evening, Bruce, Revenant, Nico, Waylon, I think, was it? Sorry, I forgot your name, but yeah. First Radeon, you, Nico, Ted, everyone. Yeah, the first Radeon and the first Kitty is here too, shedding fur all over. Graphics card. Evening Pixel, Ian, let me try this name. Suka, Tyler, Jane. Got the whole crowd here. Joseph, my goodness, Solar. Everyone's here. And I have cat hair everywhere. Ugh. This won't hold a candle in the wind to the video card we streamed last time, of course, which was just the superior offering from anything ever made. But figure we'll mix it up a little bit, why not? So, and here the best part is that I know not a ton about the first Radeon, so I realized I had one. So I figured, well, I should stream with one just for GPU June 2, all in honor and everything. But the card is fascinating. It's interesting. So let's see what I can do tonight. We'll do a little benchmarking and stuff like that. Why not? As we'll see, wrong guy. As we'll see, as always here, we're running this on the P3 700, which is, you know, pretty period accurate. We're talking about it within a year of that releasing, and it's easy to forget like how fast things were moving, like 97, 2001 in development of GPUs and CPUs, right? Things were flying. They went from, you know, P2 to P4 in the span of a few years there. And the P3, of course, accelerated fast. So this machine is basically period accurate for that perspective, but it's not probably going to get the best performance out of the Radeon card. Now, again, this is a realistic machine you might have seen around this time, for sure. But there's probably more on a Radeon to crank out there. But also, it's just one of those things. I know, Pixel, I watched your video in preparation for this as well, where you showed off the Radeon trying to run it with a much faster processor to see if it could redeem itself. Spoiler alert, it could not. Like, it's a fascinating card, and it's interesting. But it was not at the top, you know, top of the pack really when it came out. But it was ATI's first real attempt at making a brand new video card, right? That was like basically the way to them kind of re-enter it and reset their stuff. So, my cat, actually, as it happens to be, have a picture ready for the card here. So this will be the, actually, let me do this instead. Let's see, where did that go? Picture. I have too many things. There we go. Yes, everyone go watch the video right now and comment. So the ATI Radeon DDR, 64 megabyte. It's a fascinating card because, again, they were trying to shed, and here, everyone pipe in if you know more about this card than I do, which is probably all of you. They were trying to shed, like, the Rage 128, you know, the Rage 128 design, if you will, and start from scratch. Oh, nice. Yeah, I found this wallpaper. I figured I need to have a wallpaper that's applicable to the stream, and in this case, that felt like this one. So, ooh, nice. Nice purchase there. Ian Christopher. And when they designed a new card then to compete with everything else that was out at the time, because we're talking 2000, right? So, I mean, you're talking Voodoo 5, you know, we're beyond the TNT. We're basically on the first GeForce already. You know, the market was going really fast, and which was still an admirable offering, having this card out, but it wasn't at the top of the benchmarks, at least from what I've seen. A lot of cards basically were faster than it, but it was also their first attempt at it. So, plus, there was a weird thing with this particular card in this machine. As best I can tell, you see the picture of it here, of course. It is the retail 64 megabyte one. And if anyone knows how to check if this is the 166 or the 188, because there was a difference. So the retail cards they sent out for review and stuff were faster than a lot of the ones that you bought off the shelf, or the OEM ones. The 32 megabyte one is slower. At least the way I found when I did the research here now, and people can pipe in. So, okay, power strip. So I'll have to install that and take a look. But it is, as I understand, this is one of the faster varieties of this card, but you could definitely get it slower. So if you were to just buy the 32 megabyte one, which probably pops a little cheaper, plus then this one has all the audio video in and out. There. I had Pepsi. Enjoy. Perfect. Eating Tech Left Behind. Yeah, we'll take a look at the power strip. I do have it. We can install it. I don't think I have Riva Tuner available. We can get it too. Just freaking cat here. So I figure we'll just do a little exploration of the card first before we go into any gameplay. Again, running on the P3 700 here, but let me get... okay, most likely 183. That's what it seemed like, too. And as a reminder, for those not familiar, this card came from when I went to VCF Midwest last year. It was just in a huge pile. So this was either $5 or $10. I can't argue. But it also sold untested. You have no idea that it would work or not. So the fact that it, so far, knock on wood, is working and has not exploded or anything. I mean, I can't complain to that. Can't complain too much about that. I think I have power strip. There we go. Power strip 2.78. We'll install that. Having a NAS with just a whole bunch of files and retro stuff on it is so nice because you can just drag and drop files all over. That's fine. Run power strip. That's all right. That's fine. I think I mess with it. So now, remind me on power strip where you get into all the information on the card. Because here's the thing, I haven't used power strip in forever. This is the monitor information, right? So I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the video card. This is the information here. I was fumbling around now. There we go, information. 64. There's an overclock utility in here too, right? Physical memory. Utilization. This is the machine itself. This would be the... I think I grabbed the last official driver that I found on Phil's Computer Live. If someone has a recommendation on a different driver, I am all ears as well, but that's the one I grabbed. I went to... Phil had a great video and article on this card, and he put a lot of drivers in there, so... but I'm just so terrible at this here now. As far as like where the information is in screensaver, reduce, display properties, advanced options, graphics system information. That's where we were. Not using Omega drivers, just using the standard ATI drivers directly from Windows. From ATI, and we can actually go into the settings and we'll see just the standard overlay and everything that you got baked in at the time. Goodness. And to be fair, I spent a lot of time prepping for all these live streams. I didn't have as much time in this one, so... And this is the last official version for Windows 9X, I think, but maybe not. Look, we have certified display hardware. Sweet. Because there doesn't look to be a overclock performance. There we go. Yep, 183 megahertz. Sweet. So this will be the faster one than I assume, based on that. At least what it's detecting it as. Yeah, I have to whip out the Amiga. So I have an interesting thing. I do have a huge collection here of original Amiga floppies, and many of them are not working. But anyway, if I found stream, just pop through each one, and I'll put a camera and a microphone on the floppy drive probably on the Amiga at some point, and we can just spend an evening going through and see which floppies work or not, which games work. But that would be an interesting stream, to say the least, because some games are going to work, and then we can actually play some of them. And we're speaking now of an Amiga 500 with the original floppy drive in it. So I have stacks of floppies here, and many of them are rotted out. Disk rot was pretty common for the Amiga floppies eventually. So, yeah, so it seems like this card is actually one of the better Radeons you could get, right? Of the original. Freaking cat hair everywhere. So I'm pretty happy with that. In fact, so far so good. It is working. And just for the sake of it, we can go ahead and run like a 3D Mark just because why not? Pretty sure I have 99 installed here. 2001 might be more applicable, but there's 99 Max. Because if anyone remembers, we ran that as well last week, or the week before, I think. Which one did we run it on? See, it all blends together now, which cards we have benchmarked and everything. But we'll let a benchmark run through here and see what it does. So what do you think, 800 with 600, or should we run 1024? Also, something interesting to note, too, is that the newer drivers, reference the Radeon DDR as... reference it as a 7200, which is what it was renamed as later on. So the 7200 and the doesn't always mean the cost cut version of the Radeon later. So that was something that they just renamed to kind of line things up. So, oh, the video is very off. Am I? Because, oh yeah, that's right. It's doing like a weird resolution. Let's see if I can fix this here. Uh, 800, 600. Oh my goodness, it's running 119 hertz right now. 120 hertz, which is why the capture went wonky. I'm a little excited that it actually is capturing at that high speed though, because that is a really, really high refresh rate. I have to calibrate that in my settings here. Yes, currently capturing at 119.965 hertz. So that's something. And now I went to 1024 here for this test, so which is just for this one here as it's performing this test. But I'm not sure I have any of the Spider-Man games on here. I don't think I played any of those, really. That's weird. It's going to like 816 by something. Yeah, I don't think I have any of the Spider-Man games, but it's certainly something we can take care of, so. Refresh rate is, let's see, 119. There we go. Now I can change things up a little bit here. Once the screen returns to normal, I can't see what the border is now. Oh well. Let's move a little bit over there. It doesn't really matter. I'm just, I'm just so particular about getting the capture just right and flickering and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just part of the experience, I suppose, is trying to get that just right capture so it looks nice. But I've heard really good things about a lot of the Spider-Man games. There was kind of like a period there where there were good Spider-Man games coming out. I know the Spider-Man 2 on the consoles at the time was also really, really good, but that was a little later. But I'll check out the other ones too. I'm also looking to add games to my stable. And it's funny because you're messing around with a computer like this with a overpowered hard drive. It's like 110 gig or something like that, right? And you installed so many things on here. And it's like, oh, you fill up 25 gig. Like, because games weren't of that size back then, right? Even in the late 90s and early 2000s, they weren't really getting to that point. So, correct, Revenant. You're probably correct, because that will send me into a tizzy and start me cold sweating that I did something wrong on the capture. But even Perfect. Yeah, so this machine now is an interesting thing, because normally this is the one that has the Voodoo 5 in it. My plan for it, and I keep saying this, I would like to make a video on this. And I'm going to probably upgrade it to a 1 gigahertz. I think that will be a good match for the Voodoo 5. It feels like a good, 2000 processor, 2000 card. And the Voodoo 5, I think, is well paired with the 700, but it has more to give, of course. I think it will be more fun to have that, especially as I look at potentially playing on like mid-range or lower Pentium 2s and slower Pentium 3s. It feels like this machine is so close to those. I would like to have a faster P3, which that would slot into at that point. So I do have a new processor just arrived here today, and then I'll try and make a video on it, so upgrade it and see the difference in performance on the Voodoo 5. Because we know it's going to get better, but it's not going to be like untapped or uncapped. Funny enough, I was running this on a Rage 120 Pro. Maybe it was on TNT2 Ultra on this same machine, and it just kept crashing at one point or another here. It could be the card that was the problem at that point, or the drivers, who knows. So far, so good on this thing here. What's these 2D tests that I just... Oh, this is a lot good, actually. That's what it is. So this was actually my first video I made. It's the same computer still. And it does have a slot 1, of course, but it is a slot kit adapter because Screw's paying the ridiculous prices for the slot 1 high performance P3s, because my goodness. P2s, they just, I mean, I have a whole bunch of them too, but the P3s, boy, it's just, you get that, you know, kind of best in slot syndrome, right? Or especially the faster 100 FSB ones, and they start running up in price real fast. And this machine does have the BH6 motherboard, so that's from Abit. So yeah, what did you say there? You said 9,684 with an overpowered CPU, and here a period correct CPU, very period correct CPU. This would have been accurate to the time in question. Half that, less than half that. So that tells you something how much this card can be uncorked, or many of these cards have a lot more performance to give with a 5-set processor. That's kind of crazy, really. There were so many 3D things that were CPU dependent back in the day compared to these days. Like, yeah, you have, you know, of course you need a CPU of some caliber, but I mean, unless I'm completely wrong, a faster GPU today will give you way more bang for your buck in performance than a CPU ever will. But it also goes to show how fast CPUs were moving in the late 90s and early 2000s. So it just, you know, you had huge performance jumps with every upgrade you did on a CPU, and now it's, you know, your rendering times and business applications are faster, but it's not like a gaming experience is that much different upgrading generation to generation. But yeah, so when you say overpowered, you ran that on a high-powered Athlon or high-powered P4 or something like that, right? I can't remember because I think I looked at the description of the video. Everyone should go check out. Thank you very much, Revenant. Always appreciated. Inching closer and closer to make me make a bad decision. So, but I appreciate it as always. He's still after me on that. The person has not budged on the price on that compact Presario CDS 524, which is a compact all-in-one. Okay, Athlon XP 3000 plus. So, I mean, that's fair to say that it's at least a twice as powerful processor as this one, basically, right? Basically giving, you're running into completely bottlenecking the video card then, which is the idea, right? You're basically trying to see what's the highest performance we can possibly get out of this card. So, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's some limitations on the 440, because you're right. The AGP slot is the problem, right? And that's the thing. And I actually found some articles from AnandTech talking about how they ran the BH6 with the 133 FSB. And what Solar's mentioning there is that that will overclock the AGP slot, which is not what you want. And a lot of video cards don't like that because you're running in a non-standard configuration versus the, what is it, the 66 or whatever. That's the standard AGP. And that'll make it run way too fast. So some cards don't like that. Some cards will handle it just fine. But you cannot unlock the multiplier there from the AGP until a later version. I think that the version 2 of the BH6, this is the 1.01, the version 2, I believe, allowed it to decouple that. And then, of course, when you get into the tualatalin, whatever you say, everyone's write out the phonetic pronunciation of tualatin, whatever that is. Then you have that 133 FSB, of course, and that opens things up. But I'm interested to see if I can run a 1 gigahertz 533, or sorry, 133 processor in this machine with this locket adapter. So it will be a worth experience. Tualatin, there you go. I only have one slot A machine, actually, and that one is currently not lemon so hot. Talalalatin, there we go. It will, I only have the motherboard and the 700 megahertz slot A processor in there, the K7, but it won't really get past the boot screen. It will get to boot, and as soon as the BIOS is done loading and it goes to the next screen, you know, where it's detecting all the hard drives and everything, it freezes every single time. And if I mess with and reseat the processor, eventually it won't boot at all. So those processors are cheap, so I was going to buy one at some point and just test it to see if the motherboard is host. The caps look fine, but it's that kind of iffy era too, so that will be fast, yeah. But I'm curious to see if I can get this machine to run at least based on what I saw online from back in the day. Both the BH6 and the Voodoo 5 as well run really well at 133 and then 83 AGP speed. So Yeah, it might be worth a try. I'm curious to see if I can get it to run stable. I will have to double check. Yeah, I booted the Athlon with literally nothing except memory and the processor and like basically an S3 video card. I found like the most basic card that is a good known card, and try booting it, and it just did not have a good time. Like it basically, like when it goes to the next screen, you know, after the BIOS, it only has part of the text before it freezes. It's not like it fills in and sits there and waits at a cursor. Like it will freeze before the top information is filled in. You know, the information you get at the top with like the you know, plug and play information and all the attached devices. It literally freezes on that. So something is bad on that board or that processor's host. I'm not sure. They came from the same pile that this card was in. So, you know, that whole motherboard and that card was, the processor was like $10. And that's the only slot A I have, actually. I never had a slot A, and I kind of just skipped over that. But as far as the Radeon card, then, the big thing that they touted, of course, was that they had 32-bit color, and that was something you could just do straight out the bat, compared to, you know, only 16 with the Voodoos and everything. But interesting enough, looking back at benchmarks, and I'm not sure if Pixel, if you tested this as well, if the 32-bit had a significant impact on the performance or not. It seemed like, at least in the articles, that it never really made a huge difference. So they almost said like, well, 32-bit's almost better on the Radeon card because the performance difference isn't that huge versus 16 to 32. Like you get all the extra color without a huge performance hit. So compared to a lot of other cards that really tank when you went to 32-bit, the earlier cards before that. But we can try you know, something that we're very familiar with how it runs, because you go to a game like this or a machine like this and you hop onto an older game that's going to run it great, right? So yeah, so 32-bit is a good thing to run on these. Oh, is my mouse giving out now? Still, it counts as like problem stream here, but I think I'm gonna try out good old Quake II here in OpenGL rendering. Oh, that's loud. I will have to run this, of course, at yeah, we streamed that one time. Well, I don't think we're gonna stream that game again. So, time demo 1, map demo 1 dot dm2. Go, full speed. Enjoy. There you go. Yeah, so Sucra is, of course, the complete opposite of what we just did here. Now, we're running this on, you know, which will be very powerful Quake II. 74 FPS, I think, is a good score. There's plenty of stuff you can get it faster. But what Sucra is saying, I'm not sure if you want to describe what you're doing yourself or you want me to fill people in, but I saw you on Twitter. You're a little bit of a masochist there, or glutton for punishment, but, you know, with Ultima 9, I think we actually ran it pretty well. Now, I turned down a lot of stuff, and I used a whole bunch of fan patches and everything, and I don't think it crashed. Did it crash? I think we played them pretty much all night stable, but then just, it's Ultima 9, so that's a rough experience in itself. There's so many good ideas in that game with implementation, right? But that was a good stream. The game was actually, you know, pretty fun once you got into it, but yeah. So 46 with Quake II is what he ran here versus here where we have, you know, 3 times the powerful processor. But the game runs just fine. We can see, we can turn off time demo now, but as far as like playing the game itself, I mean, it plays just dandy. And I'm not sure if this even supports 32-bit here, but, you know, beyond that, Quake 2 runs like Quake 2. Very dark, of course. So I can increase brightness. That's going to reset the render, the entire thing. So we have a 32-bit color now. I think it looks by default there. It looks like at the top there now. Let's see. Using desktop display depth of 32. So yeah, we're running 1024 by 768 at 32-bit color depth. I mean, Quake 2 looks good. Now, the stuttering you might see a little bit, or like as I'm moving around, don't necessarily attribute that to the Just shooting me. Don't attribute that necessarily to the game, because I'm using a ball mouse here, for those not familiar. A standard compact 2-button ball mouse. So the polling rate on that is not great, right? So, but it's part of the experience. The reason for that, for those not aware, is that because the KVM I use for connecting all these computers to this capture device does not like wheel mice. I gotta fix that at some point. Where's the shotgun? As part of the experience, this mouse has really not let me down at all. It's worked great. But you can see the pull rate looks a little... Woo! Aha! I don't get it. Yep. Eating Philly cheesesteak. Well, this is a dark game, isn't it? I have the CD, I could pop it in to play the original soundtrack, but I'm sure that will result in a near immediate copyright mark on there. But that's to say, like, if you hopped on to playing some of your old favorites, right, on this new Radeon card, you have a great experience. It runs very fast. And a great color depth, too. We could try and kick this resolution up, too, but... It's funny. It's like, I keep thinking, like, you know, I played Quake II on, like, a P2 300. Because it feels like every time we play Quake II, we play it, at least I tend to do that, on a much more powerful machine than I ever would have played it on back then. And I keep forgetting how early, quote-unquote, Quake II came out. And we stream Quake II a lot, so we're not going to play it that much, but I just want to show that as far as, like, this goes, 32-bit color Radeon handles that beautifully on a game like this that's a little older, right? So this was like, what, 97? 98? When did Quake II come out? Forgetting my important history now. But it is a little sad as far as, like, you know, generic space shooter. Quake 2's got a special place, but... So 97, very end of 97 then. It's got a special place, but it is pretty generic brown military, you know, so... yeah, darkness is really bad on that. So yeah, Quake 2, great. So let's hop into the next step up, which of course Quake 3, which would have been, all again, period accurate. Don't worry about that. I think the window here now is very bad. Stand by. That's 99 hertz. That's what's messing up, is the really high refresh rates on here. I'm not sure if that's because of power strip that's kicking in. So let me fix that. There's also a weird... Go. I think that's more centered. I'm just tickled that the capture works fine, so... Yeah, it is really safe, you're right. It doesn't really try anything new, and I remember being a little disappointed in the sense that it is just like, again, a space shooter, and it was more an engine with a game attached to it. It felt like anyway to me. A 9.949. They were running at 100 hertz refresh rate, and again, the capture takes that like a champ, so... I had to get into a game here quick so I can see. I just want to see what it looks like here on the capture. There we go.
Welcome to Quake III Arena.
There we go. That's a little better.
Crash.
All right. So, running at 1024, and we're, you know, we're pulling 45 FPS, and 1024 would definitely have been the push for this, and that was not even 32 or 16 there. Let's do a quick test between 16 and 32-bit in this game, which this game is definitely like the far end of this, right? We're going to enable trilinear here, and we'll go for broke. And then we'll do time demo 1. And we'll run demo at 32-bit. And we'll see the volume here now. Wow. Yeah, I don't think I ever played Quake 3 that far. Hyperspeed. That's pulling a respectable performance there. I mean, I think this would have been more than playable. I feel if you had played this, quote-unquote competitively, you probably would have set this to a low resolution and everything. But the Radeon, it's a fine card for playing this game, so... oh, there's more settings. We didn't even max it out. Well, what's even the point? But that was 60 plus FPS, so let's check the... texture detail was... Where did I see that? Texture filter. 32-bit, there we go. High... Okay. There we go. Now we'll do it again, and then we'll change it to 16-bit, and we'll see the difference. Again, this was, more than capable of playing Quake 3, so... Whee! Oh, slider. Of course I missed it. All right, stand by. Whoop. There we go. Now maxed out. We will actually play some games tonight, too, instead of just benchmarking, but we're here to talk about the video card, right? When you say low power limit, Bruce, there on the KVM, what do you mean then? It's like, is that the... like what I can handle with it or something? Because I mean, it's a business KVM, right? It was never meant for like gaming purposes or anything. So, but here we're playing then Quake 3 with max settings at 30-bit color and still pulling in over 60 FPS. I mean, average, of course. You saw there several times there were some pretty severe dips. But if we change it then, so that was 62.7. If we change it to 16-bit color, I guess we'll do 16 here too, but... Blasphemy. No, I like doing console stuff too. It's like I never want to just lock myself for... never want to lock myself to just doing computer stuff, because I have many other interests too. So I like covering a little bit of everything. Of course, with my Mr. stuff and everything too, but... I guess we can confirm VSync is off. On OpenGL, I believe it's off by default, so... Otherwise, I'll be a fool, but I don't think it would synchronize to 63 hertz. So, considering that the monitor right now is capturing at 99, so 63.3 FPS. There was virtually no difference between 16 and 32-bit color on this card here now, and especially cards one generation newer than or older than this, like the Rage 128 and stuff like that. Well, supported 32-bit. I think there was a, well, like you said, Pixel didn't have a huge performance impact, but several of the other cards around that era, it was one of the first no-brainer performance gains will switch to 16-bit color. But here, there's virtually no difference. So, and that's a it's a big feather in its cap to show that they went all in on that. And I'm not sure if that's more like they didn't optimize the card to run better on 16-bit or just happened to 32-bit was the same or not. But yeah, it's definitely CPU limited. We can definitely get more power out of this card with the faster CPU. So. I don't tend to benchmark everything, but I thought it was a curious test here on the 32-bit color at least, so... Maybe we should actually play some games instead of just benchmarking. Or are we kidding? We can just do some more benchmarking. Let's do one that I find is a little rough on this here, and that's the Unreal. We'll check the settings, but it actually struggles a bit with Unreal. Now, I think we're running direct 3D mode. I think I tried setting it to OpenGL, and it did not like that. So you can tell here, it's definitely having a hard time there. But this is running at... Let's see, this is not here. This is under here. We're using a direct 3D renderer, but when I switched to OpenGL, it just blew up. So maybe I'm missing something there. But we're running direct 3D, because when I switch to OpenGL... They're also S3 Metal, which we do have a card for that now. I got an S3 Extreme, so... Evening, Joe Fish. Yes, this is the 64 VRAM version with the 188 or 183 megahertz clock, so the fastest Radeon standard card, I think. So, this is... I don't remember what patch version this has, but I can try OpenGL again. But when I did that last time, it just kind of... Yeah. Clash. And I'm not sure if that's I knew that a mini driver or what for the OpenGL. Okay, can I get into the... I think what I did now, let's go... yeah, it's definitely pre-gold. I think I did this to get into the game. I used the default setting. There is a default here, which is very useful. And then you can do this, software renderer. Thank you very much. And Unreal, and we'll switch it to software renderer. Let's see, save. Because I can see about finding the latest patch, too. This is definitely not the gold version, but I could have sworn I'd patched this to the latest version. I think even I have the updated version on my NAS here. Unreal patch. This is probably the version we have. We can launch it and see what it says. This is 2.26 final. Let's take a look. This is software, of course, which is having a hard time. Let's see. Is there anything in here about what version this is? I don't even know how to look at that, but we don't want that. We want Direct 3D, which does run quite well. So yeah, you can tell here. I think it is... yeah, there we go. TinyMO1. And it seems like it would run better than like 15. I think I pulled in more than that earlier, so... Something feels not right here. You might have to restart the game. Or maybe I have too many settings on here. Reset that to default. We'll restart it, just to be safe. In the README? That's true. Let's see. I'll hop around all over the place now, but now we're just doing benchmark and having fun with that. So, let's see. Where's the README file? Or maybe it's... What's that in here? Why no README file? That's weird. We can try and apply the patch anyway and see what happens. No harm in it. I could have sworn I patched this already, but we'll find out. Oh, it's an 18 meg file. I should have... oh, you're right. It's probably one... You're right. There we go. That's the system folder. So, help. README. There we go. Let's see. Release notes. Additional products. Updates coming. Yeah, we'll just patch it. Why not? Must be the original CD, which I had here somewhere. Stand by. Maybe I have it mountable. Doing live troubleshooting here now. Yeah, I think I need the original CD for that. But, alright, let's cancel all this and double check it again to see. Release notes. Yeah, 2.26 final. So we are patched to the latest one, so... that's what I thought. Yeah, I do have the original CD, I just gotta find it, so I wasn't prepared to patch. But we are running on the latest version of Unreal Regular then, so not the gold, not the updated one. So this is Direct 3D, which is running surprisingly... surprisingly slow here. Did not run that slow when I played it last time. Low. I'm a little surprised how sluggish this is running here. Because that ran just fine at... I would think that this game run better than this on a Radeon card at Direct 3D. Something feels amiss here. Like way slower and this looks like software. That looked like software there. So the pixelated sky there does not feel like it's applied to Direct 3D. I bet if we switch back to software now. it runs the same. Like, it's not kicking into, feels like it's not going into direct 3D. Yeah, that's still softer mode. That's weird. I wonder why it's not engaging the direct 3D. There's no way that's direct 3D, right? Maybe now if we force it there. That looks faster. This is software still. I don't think this one has the same launcher, right, that Gold and Unreal Tournament uses. And capture is weird again. There we go. Yeah, it still doesn't feel like... I mean, look at the particle effects and everything. It really looks softer. That's weird. Because, yeah, I tested this on this machine here before this, and it was fine. Whee! Live troubleshooting. Instead of, like, playing games, don't worry about that. We're just going to do this. Give my capture card a workout now, too. Fascinating. Yeah, because I tested this and it was fine. I think I have DX diag. Isn't there a... Because the setting does specify direct 3D as the renderer. Yeah, it's true. It is very accurate for what we did back then. It was like always something. I spend more time messing with my computer, I think, than actually playing games. So, but we won't mess around too much. Does it run like this? Yeah, DirectX diag is running. That's direct draw. Whee! Now we're getting funky. That's bouncing. Let's double check the direct 3D actually works. I think it's the last one for Windows 98, I think. It's usually what I run on most of my 98 machines. This is exciting, isn't it? This is why we have this retro machine, so we can do that stuff. And Direct 3D is actually not available. That's interesting. Very interesting. Because, I mean, yeah, I used it. I literally used it on this machine, but it's actually saying a DirectX, a Direct 3D is not available. Well, that's a problem. Alright, should we try a different driver? Yeah, let's restart. Now this is true troubleshooting. And look at that. Stop not stretching my stuff. There we go. Oh, don't... I'm not ready to be hurt again, Steam sale. Up. Direct help. Crashed. We are trying... We're turning it off and turning it on again. So then what I wonder is if it's power strip. Because I remember when I installed power strip to mess with stuff last time, a lot of my resolutions got really wonky. And it feels like direct... I did push some of the buttons of power strip. I wonder if I literally disabled direct 3D support. I should check in power strip because I may have broken something there. That's the only real major difference from when I got this machine up and running with this card the other night. We'll see. Yeah. It, like, Unreal Tournament, not Unreal Tournament, but the Unreal there basically defaulted to using the software as like on a wrapper or something when it couldn't initialize Direct 3D, so... Okay, shouldn't. Steam Deck's not going on sale anytime soon, so... I'm using the default settings here. Compatibility is defaults. We'll default everything here. Aha, there we go. Test Direct 3D. Hey, look at that. Hey, 3D's back. Just took a reboot. See? Isn't it funny, though? I have, like, some weird enjoyment of doing this stuff. Like, troubleshooting this kind of stuff can be as enjoyable as playing a game anymore. I don't know why. Getting something to work or messing with stuff. Now, spend days on it gets tiring. But still. Oh, yeah, I saw something about the Blade Runner Enhanced, and Night Dive Studio spent a long time, I think. A long time remastering it. I haven't tried it, but from what I understand, the getting the like they took a long time for the license and everything, but then getting the remaster done. But I've heard, I haven't tested it myself, of course, so I won't want to do judgment there. But from what I understand, the enhancement isn't much of an enhancement. Like, some of the rendering stuff they did was not good, but I don't know. I haven't tried it. All right, now let's see if Direct 3D actually works in the game. Then it should run considerably smoother. Software mode, I don't think the 700 megahertz can run. Ah, there we go. That's Direct 3D. Look at that. There we go. So, yes, we're, pretty rough on performance here now, but we are running this with 1024, 32-bit color, and just kind of cranked settings in general, right? So this is more just the extreme texture filtered mode, all that stuff with the early 3D acceleration stuff. But yeah, this is definitely more what I would expect. And software was rough. And interesting, the Direct 3D mode is really like a little too well lit, if that makes sense. It's a little too bright almost. I'm sure we can mess with rendering settings, but yep, that sounds about right. Something like that. There we go. I never had the Radeon, the first one. So the first cycle now is 34 FPS, definitely fully playable. As it were, I have a save right here at exiting from the most iconic spot, of course. Which is running fine. I mean, this is, very high quality. Wow. What was resolution, though? Because we can set the resolution down. $800 by 600. Now we're getting a little higher, 60, 70. I don't know, it's like, you always say that you want to have the best quality possible. I need to hear this music here now. Yeah, that's very possible. The driver version is the thing, too. If you guys have a specific recommendation, yeah, that's the thing, too. And I will certainly listen to feedback on which driver to use, but yeah, we're at 32-bit color now, too, of course, with the Google's did not support. So now what we need to do is immediately get into a turf war on fighting over, which particular card is better and which particular version is better and all that stuff, right? It's funny how people pick sides on that kind of stuff, right? Especially retro, because all of this stuff is super fun to mess with. But people can get really upset if you diss a particular card or particular manufacturer. So yes, the Zen 3 is also really good. We streamed that on the Mac, I think, on the Rage 128 Pro, and also we streamed Unreal on that one as well. Of course, now I'm going to start playing on real here. We'll eventually actually play something for real on this. Oh, something early Direct 3D doesn't always seem to... Ah. Flickering lights. Lots of flickering lights here. I tend to prefer OpenGL in the beginning. don't know what is with OpenGL, but it just always felt a little cleaner. More natural colors. Direct 3D always feels like it was very overlit somehow. Yeah, clearly we're pulling more than playable. Frame rate's 800 by 600 here on this, but again, I think with 32, yeah, it is pretty low. We're using a ball mouse, so can we disable? I'm not sure if we can set 32-bit. Rendering, Direct 3D support. Direct 3D support used to be effects. No. I don't know if there's anywhere to set which, if it's 32 or 16. This is only 16? Yeah, I remember as soon as I got an optical mouse, the first thing I did was get all those utilities to increase the polling rate to some absurd level because, you know, it was so cool. That's true. I probably can go to mouse smoothing for sure. Yeah, there's nothing to do that here, right? I'm not missing it. I have no strong opinion on that, Mortal Kombat 2, so I'll stay out of that one. Advanced game engine settings. That music. Amazing. I don't think there's any mouse smoothing on here, is there? No. We're not going to play this game that long, but it still runs fine, right? So, and it's got to be the timings of power strips making it very weird. I mean, clearly very, very playable and enjoyable like this. This I would have considered very fast or smooth, minus the polling rate on. There we go. I believe it does. Well, we were going to hang on in Unreal too long, but let's maybe play a more period-accurate game because oh my goodness, yeah, I was going to say, there's a Steam sale going on because right now my notifications started popping up on all the sales that had hit the limit of what I wanted, so let's play a game that actually pushes this card a little more to what you would expect. Which I actually have somewhere. Where's the... Just can't see the frickin'... Alright, fine. It's Giant Citizen Kabuto. Yes, I will forfeit all the wonderful registration goodies. I will not register. That was 3 things that I complained, so... Yet a Mister, yeah, that's probably the biggest bang for your buck gaming system you can get anymore. For considering what it cost, the amount of stuff you can get out of it is pretty amazing. So, all my alerts are going off now with all the Steam sales. Yeah, I am a big fan of mod tunes, so very nice. That's a very, very solid machine there, Boca. It's just, you know, I really enjoy. Boy, it's the monitor timings are all over the place. I'm tempted to uninstall PowerStrip here because I think it's messing with all the monitor timings. Driving freaking bonkers here. No, unfortunately not. It will never get to that level. All right, I'm going to uninstall PowerStrip because this is driving me nuts. So while we're doing this, what it has to do with on the Mr. device, the D10 Nano, the limitation is not just size on there, but the memory bandwidth. So the highest by far we will really ever get is what we get now, which I think is pretty amazing, which is PlayStation 1 and Saturn. That's going to be the top ceiling. There might be some trickery they can do to run some stuff on it, but besides hybrid emulation, where they basically use some of the ARM processor on there as well to offload it, which at that point is not, you know, you're basically emulating at that point. And once you get into that kind of level, yeah, it's just not I don't want to use the word powerful enough because it is not about power. It is more about space on it. So exactly, we can get fast 486. There's probably some optimization to do there, but at best we have a 4650, thereabouts. At even then, I know that the clock goes higher, but it's missing a lot of extra stuff. So yeah, and I think with the N64, it's such a hilariously complex console is the problem. And they basically said, yeah, everyone who knows anything about it said that will never happen. And they said that about Saturn too, but Saturn is a little more realistic, and the PS1, of course, is very, very good now. And I think that's the problem, is the FPU is really hard to emulate or reproduce. So it is really just consider it a 16-bit console with some 32-bit console access, and the equivalent retro computers too, and you're pretty close to what it can do. It's just not ever going to go beyond that. And it's interesting because even if you were to get, like, say in the future, we get a new FPGA platform, it's twice as big, twice as much capacity, it can do all the wonderful things you ever dreamed of. Coding or implementing those cores for those advanced consoles is insane. I mean, it's taken them years now, certain people working on it a long time for getting PS1, for example. It took a long time. Coding any of the newer consoles beyond that, I think, are very complex. So, not to mention FPGA chips are very expensive. The fact that we can get a D10 Nano for as little as we can, I think the entire D10 Nano board is cheaper than the FPGA chip on it, if that tells you anything. FPGAs are very expensive. And yeah, I think that's where we're sidestepping, right? We're getting into the ones like the CDI and the 3DO. Those are the ones I'm excited for, because I'm never going to buy one of 3DO, or a CDI. But I feel like that's an eventuality, it will happen. Because as we get all the more famous consoles, and then you get into kind of the little more obscure stuff, people want that, or people will, work on it. So, all right, thanks, Bruce. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Register later, forfeit. Is finally gonna still doing weird timings. So we're at 120 hertz. Is what it's running at now. That's pretty hardcore. Yeah, Jaguar as well. That's something we'll get. There's some problems with that for sure. But yeah, we got Sega 32X came around out of nowhere. That's of course an extensions, and so. Yeah, whew, yeah, that's kind of what I expected on those. That's insane. Oops, that's not even, let's see, 800 by 600. No, what we can do to reduce the timing here. It's really running at a higher refresh rate, so. This is what I found worked pretty well on this one. We're running at 800 by 600 32-bit color. And the TNL HAL. Now, this is Direct 3D and everything. If anyone has any options or ideas on this particular game, I'm more than open to change settings. So, yeah, the arcade thing, I think we have plenty more to go. Because, of course, there's so many arcade machines, arcade boards. Yeah, I've thought about that, too. Arcade on Myster will be a fun stream. I do have an arcade joystick, so it'll be fun to mess with that. We've been playing, like, games that work as arcade, if you will. I would love to put a Myster in my arcade machine that currently has just an emulation box in there. But, yeah. That's true, yeah. I mean, the thing is, FPGAs, I'm sure, are used for very advanced stuff in the industry. But for us laymen's, a small chip like this, and I think that's something that gets forgotten a lot when you look at the Myster. It is just really a consumer device, or in this case, a hobbyist device made for students, right? So we're running on pretty medium settings. When I set this to pretty high, this game does not like that because it is actually pretty demanding. Let me double check the settings here now, because the controls were really weird in this game. Use weapon, special cameras. F, okay. Where's the... Okay, WSD, alright. We'll just figure it out from there. Nitro, thrust. So, for those not familiar, Giant Citizen Kabuto is a interesting game in that there's 3 different characters you play. One is just kind of like a shooter run around guy. The next one is a huge giant, and then you play like an aquatic race or whatever. I didn't play this much beyond a demo when I was younger. So it's a really interesting game, and it's got that typical like 2000s kind of like, you know, graphics and everything, and it's very period accurate for this machine too. Well, although this is a heavy lift for this machine for sure. Yeah, we'll see when we get there. I think this is the... Oh. Yeah, I know. I think by default this one is censored. Because the loading screen was censored there. There are some of the aquatic races there that have as we play. Whoops. I wonder if we had some rendering problem there. There was a black bar area. That seems like this reflection should not work. Maybe we should disable the hardware TNL. I don't feel that... Oh, I'm gonna get flagged for all Hail Britannia now. Oh well. This is fun humor. Find the helpless little smarty boy. Hurry, he's in danger. Go, shoot. Kill all the rippers guarding him. Use the map if you need help. So yeah, this game runs, you know, fine. But it certainly have slowdown as you look into this wide open areas. And we're running at medium settings in general. I think I would have played this game like this, no problem. But this is then pushing... Oh, you can look behind camera. That's weird. Atlas 4.1, okay. So we could downgrade the driver as well and see if that helps a little bit. We're running at the latest driver. And that might be that some of these games don't like that. I certainly want to run it like this, but... Alright, I'll leave it to chat here now. Should we just keep playing? Or should we try and use an older driver to see if there's better performance? So I can get that driver and then install it and all that stuff. We just have to do a few more reboots and everything. Not sure if it's worth it or not, but... Yeah, this is a cool game, especially as you get further into the story, because you eventually play as a huge giant and you get to stomp everyone, so... And it's just very, very humorous, so... But I really only played the demo of this. But truth be told, if I was playing for real now, I might go with a more powerful machine or something, but it's still a fun experience, so... Certainly would have played it like this back when. It's a pretty looking game, too. It's very, very 2000s to me with these lens flares and, like, this kind of rendering and everything. And it runs very smooth when you look at certain areas there, but then, of course, it bogs down as you get into the wider open areas. It's basically an open world game a little bit. Not fully open world, but lets you run around a lot and do stuff, so... At least it's not boars, I guess, but... Every MMO start ever. Bugs and scorpions and boars and who knows what. Look at that lens flare. This is like a poster child for me almost for this era of games, because I played games a lot in this era. Although I got into MMOs pretty quick after this. There's a lot of games from this particular time period that are, you know, kind of look like this, and they all feel similar in that sense, if that makes sense. So the camera's a little... There we go, now I'm in the middle. Colored rendering and all this stuff, and you know, the Radeon is a fine card from here, but there's certainly, you know, you play this on a GeForce 2 or something, you're probably gonna have a even better time. This is a game that probably wants, especially for maxing it out, needs a little more horsepower and then processor and everything too. But still, you know, period accurate. This would be a machine that you would have had potentially at 2000. Flat. bigger gun would be nice. Flat. Cannot jump. I think you get a jetpack here later, but it certainly as you turn to an open world here now, it's definitely struggling, but it's a lovely engine for this game. So I think I patched this to the latest version that is available, so local wildlife. Wow. What else has he done? I don't think that I would be aware of that name, but it is also very very iconic soundtrack in the sense. I can't remember exactly. I mean, none of the songs like, oh yeah, I remember that one, but it's a very unique game with a unique soundtrack and a unique art style, and it's just a delightful game, and it feels like a Shiny Entertainment game more than whoever made it. Maybe it is Shiny. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. It feels very MDK, doesn't it? Yeah, this is completely action 3D like this, the whole game, and you play with different characters, and you have a different experience for each character, which was what made this neat. The big thing was the giant Citizen Kabuto, right? Because you can play as a giant, so that was the big thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. It was bundled for sure. It feels like a game that people did get bundled. But we're definitely butting up at the, you know, the limit of this here now, but I wonder if we should turn off. Well, that would explain that. Maybe we should turn off the TNL if that's not helping. There we go. What's up?
Thanks, old man.
Name's Buzz.
Rightio. Mine's Ahmed, but you can call me Timmy. There's no way I was giving my new jetpack to that old ripper.
Hey, that's mine.
But you can have it, Mr. Basil, if you want. And a lot of fun it was.
Humor.
Here now, carry me down this smarty mine shaft.
I think I did a lot of times. Other times I did play all my bundle games or traded them, so... I mean, one time I bundled and it came with Morrowind, I think, so which is really cool.
Mr. Basil.
Look, I'm trying to find a mate of mine. He's missing on... What the f*** is that?
Whoa!
What? Oh, that! Wax models of hanging smarties. The Sea Reapers are trying to frighten us off our island so they can take over. What they don't realize is we've been here...
Archmate!
What?
The Smarties! They're real!
Whoa. That's a great engine.
Come on, lad. Pull yourself together. You weren't to know.
Great humor here.
I need my pills, Mr. Baz. I am very...
Yeah, that seems very accurate then as far as that.
Easy now.
Because it's very, very similar to Shiny in the sense of the way they made games, so...
Oh, God, and to think... yesterday I was throwing stones at them.
Yeah, they are looking pretty messed up.
Listen, Mr. Baz. I shall give you a prize if you can rescue them. Please, hurry.
I think we got a jetpack now. Using a new jetpack. Right mouse button to use jetpack. Whee! And now we can fly. Or we have limited fuel, of course. Gotta wait for it to recharge. The 3 different playable characters in this game are very different because, yeah, you have these that play more like a standard shooter. And then, of course, you have the Giant, which we'll see if we get to that here or not. But I think the campaign basically goes through a lot of this stuff. But it's a very different playstyle for all of them, so... If there are specific games you guys want me to check out on this card or this configuration, we can do that too. I have quite a few games on here, but... I can always get more other options. Whew, get that transparent water. It slows down a lot here. Alright, so I need to jump up here to save that dude, huh? Whoa, piranhas? That is not cool. Okay, he's just gonna fall down here. Come on. Do we know what that is? It's just called Spider-Man? Oh. Ow. Not cool, freaking piranhas. Come on. I have to get up there? Okay, you're gonna fall down or what? There we go. Did I get him? Whoop. Can I only have one? Oh, you have to take him back first? Whoops. I should probably read what it said, huh? Why did I have to take him back? To that thing over there, I'm guessing? Yeah. I should probably read. Ain't no more time for that. It's literally a thing, huh? Why are there piranhas here? Whoops. Ah, I saved him. Piranha's clutch. There we go. I'm gonna have to save here. Oh, water, water, water. Ow, my goodness. There we go. Whoop, whoop. All right. Whee! So I'm so focused on not trying to get these dudes drowning here now, but what was the, was there a, name on that Spider-Man game? I'm not sure how to get up there, though, because the jetpack certainly doesn't have enough fuel to get up that high. Because it runs out way faster than that, so I think you're supposed to just kind of catch them. Really slow. Spider-Man. Did he hop on? Nope. Come on. Well, that's all. Huh. It's not very effective. Come on, I was right there. Yes, it is a great game. Huzzah. There we go. Trying to not get eaten here. Let's see about getting that game here.
Oh, well done, Mr. Basil. Here, take this present. It's a weapon that other spaceman dropped.
What? You
2001?
guy like me?
Certainly, Mr. Baz. He's over there. He crashed in the big metal bird, and now he's dangling from a cliff.
Oh. Well, that's convenient.
What a joker. You can take this mineshaft to him if you want.
Right, jump on my back.
Brilliant.
I'm gonna save him.
Yeah, the 2001 PC version is what I'm grabbing here now. Or, yeah. Rescue telephone. You can't hold down much longer. Ah, heck, blow stuff up and worry about ammo later. Ooh, definitely a little sluggish. Yeah, definitely play this. I mean, it's just a fun game and good game and... Oh. Ooh, ammo. Give me some help, please. There we go. Great humor. It's a very, very much a game of the era. It just feels so fun and appropriate for that era. It feels like this... Yeah, I think it does. Especially as you get to play the different characters. This is just a basic character in the game. But then eventually, yeah, you get to play a huge giant that just rampages and destroys everything, which is kind of the... Okay, so how do I switch weapons? There we go, tab. Oh, that feels very anticlimactic now with a little pew-pew pistol here now after that. Take that. Oh, it's real, alright. Cutscene, or did it crash? Oh, cutscene. Here we go.
Oh, hello there. My name's... Oh dear. Sorry about that. I'll be over here if you need me.
Easy, Tal. He's a friend. Come on, we need to find Reg.
Oh, the Reapers will probably have him now, Mr. Baz.
What?
Oh, yes. Just yesterday, a Reaper squadron captured my whole village. I was only able to escape because of these old smarty mine shafts we've been traveling.
Here we go.
Well, where the bloody hell you've taken him?
I think it might be almost like they poke fun at all this stuff.
We could ask Daddy. He and Mother are the only smarties that didn't get taken. He'll know. They live high in the Codpiece Hills
What a humor.
on Sorcia Island. But it isn't very easy to get
Yeah,
there
fun
right
game.
now.
I remember it was featured quite a bit in magazines and stuff. It was just kind of that... Again, it feels like this era hasn't really... yeah, the loading time. This really hasn't really been redone. It feels like this era doesn't have the nostalgia yet. It feels more like the, you know, the boomer shooters and the 90s, like, you know, chunky pixel stuff. But this kind of like early rendering, but still pretty sharp and cool looking. Is, I don't know. I kind of miss this era.
Daddy says I'm too nervous to play with guns, but there are smarty shops on each island. Just check
That's
your
right,
way.
yeah. Jack and Dexter 1 is now fully playable on PC with a full port, which is pretty impressive. And we're going to keep seeing that kind of stuff, which opens up the possibility of like ultra wide, you know, 3D rendering and extra resolution and ray tracing and who knows what. Find the hatch that leads to the mine shaft. I just gotta find it. It's from a map. What's the map? Party house item. Give health. Throw grenade. Ooh. Throw mine, flare, thrust, nitro. Let's see. Where's the map mode? C. Oh wow, look at that. And that's a rendered map. Fly around with the jetpack here. All trespasser vibes here now. Wish I can play that too. That's the question. When they do all this stuff on updating engines and stuff like that, will that ever be playable on older machines? Because there's not much motivation for making them for period accurate. But that would be awesome if like they made them for the era appropriate machines that the games actually came out in. That would be awesome. But I don't know if that's likely to happen. Yeah, that's true. It is very similar looking. Whoa, hi. Whew. That hurt. Geronimo! I'll take a big health, please. Thank you. Yeah, that's true. There was a very rare brown, wasn't it? Really? Did a DOS port with 3D effect support? Really? I'll check that out. Get him? Yeah. There's a nice, like, you know, exploration here and very open. Yeah, it feels like it was just, you know, there wasn't the same priority put on, like, ultra smooth. And it's funny how when you look at modern games and everything, it's like, you know, it has to be, like, ultra smooth and amazing engine with every rendering technique you know, and, like, you know, pixel perfect everything, this and whatever. But, I mean, it was like, hey, the game runs. Sweet. Let's play it. You know, that was pretty much it from back in the day, it feels like. Oh my, there's a lot of these jerks here. It would help if I hit. Pretty sparse with the ammo here. I'd say now you play like a modern shooter, like any, you know, your Doom or Doom Eternal or anything like that, like it feels very real, you know, not in the sense that it looks realistic per se, but it's like it's a complete package, right? It's just very solid engine and stuff like that, and that feels like I'm, you know, you play a game like this, you can see the seams pretty easy, if you will, and you know, they have amazing, like, hand animation, they have reload animations, they have, like, it feels like a real world, like, as far as the game design goes, so. Sneak, Sneak past the sniper guard post. We're sneaking now? We're into Assassin's Creed now. Hmm. Whee! I'm sneaking with my rocket launcher. Again, if you really played this game, you probably would maybe play it on something a little more powerful. It would really help if I hit things. Can't ask for everything. Kablamo! Splat! Ray tracing sound waves, there we go. Yeah, it's very sneaky. I don't know, it's like you know, especially now, as engines are getting more and more, like, everything seems to be going Unreal Engine 5, which I'm sure it will be impressive. We'll get bright graphics and games, everything, but it's turning a little samey, right? To me, it feels like, you know, William? And it's just like, you get, like, every game's got a feel. Like, in the mid-2000s, everything looked like Unreal 3, right? Or Unreal Engine 3. Are you good or not? No. Found the snipers. Oh, you gotta restart. Oh, nice. This is old school, yep. There goes old school game design. So the sneaky explosions were fine until we got to the point where they literally just one-shot me. try the mission one more time, and then we'll switch to a different game here if I can't get past it. But not so much sneaky in the beginning here. Let's see what it takes to get this game smooth here. Let's change resolution. We'll go to 640 by 480. 32 or 16-bit color. What can we do to get this running really smooth? And it's weird. The resolution is odd. Oh, that's not going to help. 640 by 480. There we go. That's terrible. Oh, nice. I think we need hardware key and all on there. Nice. I shouldn't have touched it. We broke it now. Yeah, discounts. Cards are actually coming down in price. Like, if you want to go buy a, you know, retail card for MSRP, you pretty much can now, I think, so. There we go. Now we're getting... This is charming with 640 by 480. It's even chunkier and charming. Yes, in this case here with the Radeon, we are running the latest driver. I did get it from Phil's website, which is always a treasure trove of information. Let me fix the setting here now, because again, we're running at 160 hertz. 159.858 hertz. I don't know why this is kicking up to such ridiculous speeds here, but let me fix that. Okay, let's see. There, good enough. I have not installed it yet, so that arrived today, actually. What we were talking about is the chip earlier. I was thinking about upgrading this machine then to a P3 1 gigahertz using 133 FSB, which would run higher than it technically is designed for the motherboard, but I think it would be a fun challenge. But this game is even more charming with at 640 by 480. But definitely is slugging, having a hard time on some of these spots here. Even at the setting. That's true. Frame time is important. It is arguably more important for a smoother experience than just FPS. Hang on, cluster them together. Whee! Yeah, it's a slot good adapter in here right now, and a slot 1, so that's what I have, and that's just ended up being, because I realized when I was building this machine back then, it is like a 370 processor so much cheaper at a slot 1. I think that's basically where it came from. I'm like, oh, I want to make a nice P3 gaming system. And like, oh, well, I guess it's a lot cheaper doing this way. So I did that. And not that I wouldn't go to slot 1 if the right one came along, but I just... They get so expensive now. Okay, can you save in the middle? No, you cannot. Hmm? Nope. You're not. Next question. Just chatting. Okay. Okay, I have 1 rocket left. Gotta make it count. Yeah! Pew, 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 pew. Oh, look, you can actually break the trees. Look at that deformation here. 1 shot, tree gone. So this is where I got snipered in 1 hit. So I assume that dude up in the tower there. Yep. So how do I make it past this? Because he's like actively shooting at me. Yep. They're trying to get out of his sight. There's some Whee! Do I get a sniper rifle? No. That's a shame. Oh my goodness. Okay, then. They just ate it. More snipers. Okay, let's do this. What is he shooting at? Well, he's got double pistols. That would be nice. I don't get double pistols. Alright, where are the other snipers now? Because, oh, there's one. Ooh. Oh. Oh, no. Those are quite destructible environments here. Come on. Ooh, grenade. Alright, there we go. That might help. There's another sniper tower down there. I don't like that. Just gonna sneak past here. Woo. No, I'm just carrying him, I think, so. Oh. Aha, I have grenades now. Oh, interesting. Huh, well, that's a good PSA then. You can buy that and actually, I think we made it. Yep. So this is the tunnel to the next island. Alright. This is a fun game. It's surprisingly fun. Hunger in the Codpiece Hills. Aha. I think probably face is out of whack now. Yep, that is. That's gonna bug me.
Hello, Father.
Get in and do them dishes, son.
My pleasure, sir.
Hello, Father. Go on and do this, son. My pleasure.
We're looking for a mate of ours.
Look at me. I'm starving. Ever since those bloody sea reapers moved in, it's been too dangerous to hunt vimps on my own. Listen, get me 20 pieces of fresh vimp meat.
I'm messing with the settings here. Trying to get the phase right. So the system board is an 8-bit BH6 motherboard. So, DRM, oh my goodness, there's a lot of sales. I'm turning to Snob now because I want it on Steam so I can play it on the Steam Deck. Easier. You can see the image shifting around. That's me messing with the phase, trying to get it just right. I'm not having much luck. We'll get there eventually here. This is important, so. Ooh, very nice. $5 for a K6 3450. Nice. You have any plans to build anything out of that? There we go. So, what's happening here is that, for those that are wondering, I'm using the data path capture card. Data path capture card is a frame grabber, so it grabs the frame right as it sees it. The thing with that is that you have to manually tweak it. Now, I say this, so it's fine now. But the phase, it's an analog signal, and the phase determines, like, when you see, like, kind of lines in the middle and stuff like that that are kind of out of focus, that's basically the face being out of spec, which still is a little bit here. I think it's as good as we're going to get right now, but then I would get, like, just ridiculous on having to get it just right to get as sharp as possible. Now we're doing capture normal stuff like that. at least for me, it's important to get that right. Now, streaming, that's just a that's just a peculiarity for me. For streaming, wanting to get it just right. So, oh, very nice. He seems like a very nice dude. The those products are amazing, just turnkey, you know. But this here is just a professional capture card, right? So it's meant to look at this gorgeous environment here. This. Can they do this again with a retro? Look at that. He even saluted the sunset there. A retro throwback game that uses this kind of rendering. I miss this era, like the 99, 2000, 2001, 2002 kind of thing. Before it got really good, you had these chunky, like, cartoony graphics and stuff like that. It was really cool. But yeah, the RetroTink, of course, is a product that just does that for you. RetroTink 5X is, at least from what I understand, an amazing product, and that's what Mike T has designed. Who's shooting me? Oh. I have enough to get up here? Yes. Look at this little open world exploration here now. What's this then? I can actually break it. Anything in here? We got destructible environments and everything. There's something incredibly charming with this kind of thing. I'm supposed to hunt something, I think. Yeah, 640 480 is the pinnacle of resolution. That's why I think it's become really fun to mess with the more period accurate stuff, because yeah, we can get all this cool stuff that runs stuff at, you know, you can play this game on a much more powerful machine and have a very good time. But it is, of course, very charming like this. Now, that said, of course, it is not running super well on here, but again, part of the charm. Yeah, I really would like a RT5X as well, just for utility purposes, but it's, you know, it is pricey, but it is pricey for a reason, right? It's a very good product, but it's still, like anything else, like with this kind of retro stuff, it's like, where do you put your money? Oh my. Unreal Tournament 2004 might be a little rough. We're talking more like, you know, Radeon 9800 Pro at that point, right? Or 9700 Pro versus the lowly Radeon 1 here. Yes, the Ripper's toast. What was I supposed to do again here? Oh, hunt those dudes. I got grenades too. Yeah, but I don't know. There's something about it. Maybe because I played a lot of games in this era, but... Oh, Wimp. Wimp. There, I got some meat here now. Not very much I needed, but... Very nice. Again, that's the thing, is like, again, it's fun to mess with the, like, the high-powered, amazing stuff, but it's also very fun to do, well, the period accurate stuff. I mean, we didn't play with, like, the latest and greatest and best ever. Look at that, even a little quest there now to bring it back. Whew, a little low on health there, but... Yeah, it could, as far as resolution goes and everything, it's, you know, higher, but not crazy high, so... Yeah, especially if you jump to a 1080p panel playing something like this, then it's like, oh wow, this is amazing, you know, but once you go to 2K or 4K, then 1080p looks pretty blurry, but it's just funny. Oh, this here would be more an acceptable way to play the game with this resolution. I saw that. I got a notification in my drop-down window on my Android phone that Solar uploaded a video, so I haven't watched it yet, but...
Dinner at last. Wait, what's this? This food is raw. I never eat raw food. My wife cooks everything I eat.
The Scrooge?
Oh my God.
Growing up in Sweden, I had
My wife. That's my God. She kidnapped her father.
the
I'm sorry about your wife. We've been looking for someone who
DuckTales
looks
was in
like
Swedish,
us.
so I had no idea.
Oh,
I had no idea until I was much, much older, grown person, grown man, that Scrooge McDuck was Scottish. I had no idea because they dubbed him in Swedish, and he just spoke in the regular Swedish dialect. There was no like accent to it. So when I then saw the first time with
Sure, my wife can help you.
the true dubbing, it's like, oh my goodness, that's extremely Scottish.
She can cook me bloody dinner.
Rescue the Smarty's wife. The man's starving. Used a bush pack disguise to hide from Reaper guards. Note that you can fly or attack while wearing your bush disguise, and that you can only wear for a limited span of time. Draws power from your jetpack. Watch out for SAM turrets. Oh my, you can throw homing missiles off the trail with flares. Oh my goodness, we got lots of stuff here now. We might switch to a different game here in a second, but... Actually, I don't know what game... I have the... Let's do this. Is there no way to save here now? No, I think it auto-saves. Alright, we're gonna try that Spider-Man game where the NAS comes into play here again. I can just do this. Go to games. We have a few other ones on here too, but let's check this one out specifically. Why am I not seeing that? My goodness, I am just not extracted the wrong one. Huh. There it is. Why am I, there it is, okay. I am just completely blind tonight, apparently. Drop that on ISO directory. There we go. Now, it will take a while to copy here, but we can let that run for a little bit as we talk about other stuff. First off, I'm going to the restroom, and I'll be back, and you guys can talk about video games and stuff, and I will be right back. All right, so, yeah, you're right. I never used FireWire either. I think I had like a burner or something at one point that used it, but so as far as like this card, the Radeon is a fascinating card still. And I think I never had the first Radeon. I'm trying to think what I had at the time. I think you can, yeah. You can do special FireWire cable and just basically link them together. I don't remember what I had. At least not a Radeon. I mean, I think I had a TNT of some variety first, a TNT1, and then I don't even remember what I switched to and all that stuff. But is anyone here that actually had the Radeon? Or yeah, camcorders was a big thing. It was like every computer for a while there had a FireWire port, but didn't really use it. So I'm pretty sure you can. But yeah, it's a neat one that I want to use. I actually have capture thing I got. I don't think it supports FireWire, but I want to use this at some point. Digital photo maker. Look at that. Use your camcorder to create digital photos. Yes, sir. I don't think it's FireWire. It's well, actually, it's just USB, but I made me think of that. Now supports Mac and iMac too. Includes MP3 audio. Record playback MP3 files. So I'll make a video on this at some point. So, but yeah. Yeah, I think thereabouts. I think the GeForce 2 GTS, I think, is actually quite a bit faster than the Radeon. It seemed like, at least in the test, I think, where Pixel did that with his card battle thing, or tested it, which everyone should go watch. He's very proud of the video. It seems like the GeForce 2 GTS just kind of ran circles around a Radeon, especially on a faster machine. So it is, the Radeon was, you know, basically a really good first try for a true modern GPU at the time, but it wasn't exactly the best, but in the same general range, yeah. So, you know, a Voodoo 5 or, yeah, the GeForce 2 GTS is generally the same range, but certainly not the fastest. I'm not sure how it holds up against the Voodoo 5 specifically. I have an old camcorder too, so I really feel this is a complete box too, I believe. I think it has been opened, yeah, but got all the cables in there, so that would be fun to make a video on it, and maybe even shoot the episode with a camcorder and record it on, oh, I'm getting bad ideas here. Upload it like, you know, 360p or whatever. But yeah, the camcorder is a tape one that I have. It is not digital. We have one, I think we bought it in like 2005 or something, before the digital ones were fully there. It might even record digitally on tape, if that makes sense. It was like a digital recording on the tape, but it's not like a record to a memory stick or anything. It uses an actual tape thing. So, yeah, it'll be tape. Yeah. I mean, the thing with the Legacy is I have a capture device. Cat hair again. That works just fine on using just about anything, because I have a StarTech USB as well that will handle all the 240p and 480p and all that good stuff through composite component and S-Video, and that's kind of my go-to for that. But the data path will support all that as well, just as long as you use adapters. It will do pretty much all that. Well, I should say, I don't think it does S-Video. That I cannot do. But the StarTech capture one will do all that. So, oh my goodness, yeah, that was amazing. I remember that too. When you, I mean, just that crunchy, hi, cat, that crunchy video quality and everything was just something else. We got 8 more minutes to kill, and we're gonna install the game too. But we do have some other games on here. I doubt I can play a game while this is going on. We can take a look at some of the driver settings for the Radeon. But yeah, I never had the Radeon. I'm trying to remember if I even remember seeing it in ads or anything at all. But I think, you know, the 7200 that this became known later, right, was used probably as an OEM pack in a lot. As, you know, a lot of the cards from ATI, it seems like they found a second life as OEM or pre-built, you know, whatever, and then rebranded. At that point, they usually were kind of middling in performance. But, you know, I have a Rage 128 Pro that is from 2001, and that clearly was a pack-in from either a server or, you know, whatever desktop computer. And you take it in the context of 2001, it is slow. It is very slow, but it was just cheap leftover chips, right? But then transport it back to, like, you know, 98 or 97 or something, and it's a mighty fine accelerator card, and it can just run a little bit of everything, right? It pairs very well with a Pentium 2 or Pentium 3 machine. So, but using the year it was manufactured, no, not at all. And it looks pretty barren too. It's a very basic card compared to the full-size Rage 128 Pros when they first came out. It's just a very slimmed-down version, which, again, not the LE, it's the original 128 Pro. Or not original, but the 128 Pro specifically. But it's just, you know, lacking a lot of the extra fluff and features. It's just a basic card, so... but we have a few options here. We can rotate. That was always a favorite to do. I remember in business, working in IT, and that's my profession. where we'd come to someone's desk and like, my entire screen is turned and I can't figure out why. Because we actually bought, I believe it was Rage 28 Pros. And they would mistakenly use one of the shortcut keys. So maybe it was IBM ones, the drivers. There was a shortcut key you can use, like, Control Shift right or something, and it would tilt the screen completely. And that would throw people off, like come into the office to troubleshoot it, and like, everything's on the side, and I keep leading my head, but... Alright, control combination, and they're back to normal. So, some overlays. AGP Smart is currently at the maximum speed. But then, of course, we have some of these advanced settings we can't go in and mess with, so... yeah. Yeah, isn't there a thing where technically all those cards that have the 7, 8, and 9 is supposed to be that, but there are several there that was kind of resold as older ones, or newer ones, or whatever, that weren't exactly true to that, so... yeah. That's the thing. So, but yeah, there was a lot of those cards that got that second life as a business card, where really there was more than enough power for that. We bought the Rage cards, I think. It was like a Vision Diablo Tech or something like that. So it's the cheapest one we can get so that people can get a second monitor. That's what it came down to, is that they had one integrated video, and then they would throw in an additional one. So, eating Hamish. I didn't say hi earlier, if he was talking earlier, but max performance. Performance. Oh, we'll leave that off for Direct 3D, but custom. We'll leave it off. Performance. There we go. Now we have max performance and everything. They will just fly now. Yeah, it's a fascinating, like, you especially look back at it now. You look back at it now, how the Wild West of, like, cards and things taking over, and it was such a tumultuous time. You look at GPUs from, like, 95 to 2005, and it was just this crazy landscape of changing stuff constantly. And then, yeah, you get to the 97 and 9800, and they were just, like, blew everything else away. I do have a 9800 Pro sitting back here that was used for a Windows 98 overkill build, but I feel it's kind of like a little bit of a waste in there, too, but it was a fun one. I made a video on it. Probably will smack that into the Shuttle small form factor, just because Shuttle specifically listed that as being supported. That was the highest performance card they tested in that Shuttle system, which you can still find on Shuttle's website. They have the specifications there still. 2 minutes remaining. I'm copying this, of course, from the network, so that's why it takes a little while. This is not a fast network card, but I don't have to run around with any disks or anything, so... I mean, like, cards are that good as far as, like, between each other on rendering. Well, I think right now, when you get to modern cards now, it's all about the upscaling, right? It's like how they can upscale it correctly. With FSR 2 just came out, and, like, how much can you reconstruct all of it to basically be as good as the native resolution and save all that performance. That feels like the next thing that's going on right now, so... yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is very different. Like, there were some that, like, especially you look at, like, Voodoo later on had really good video quality, right? So, all right, thanks for stopping by, William. See you next time. You know, there was, like, Matrox was, of course, the one when it came to having good video image quality and everything. Yeah, thanks. It's always fun to chat about retro stuff and video cards, and I can go on forever, of course, so... See, the cool thing with me streaming is I just get to blather on about what I think is interesting, and you have to listen. But no, I appreciate everyone's input, of course. But now, it feels like if you go buy a video card now, you expect it to be, you know, have a good image quality and be able to handle resolutions to whatever you set it to, you know, natively. Like, having poor image quality now on a video card seems like almost unrealistic, unless you buy, like... a fake one, if you will. You know, you go to AliExpress and you buy a card and it ends up being a fake card or something. I could see that being bad, but like if I go to a retail store now and buy a GPU, I expect it to have good image quality, right? That wouldn't really fly, if you will, to have that poor. But I think it's just that the RAM DACs and all that stuff are so good now. That's, you know, there's nothing else to. It's going to be really good, basically. All right, let's mount that one. Can it read the MDS? I think it can. Let's see how this runs now, because now we're talking about a little bit newer game, but that is the main menu. That is not the correct aspect ratio on that picture, but sure. Maximum. 500 megabytes. That's actually substantial. But we're installing disk to or hard drive to hard drive now, so. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like you have that. There's two digital too. There's no. You're right. There's no DACs really, because I didn't think that far, because there's no digital audio to analog conversion. It is all pixel perfect. So now you're basically getting into the, like, how good is your cable and how good is your monitor. So, yeah, and that got really good too, especially towards the end there. But you can tell, like, that's why I like the Voodoo 3, which I happen to have one sitting right here. The Voodoo 3 produces such a nice picture. And like such a lovely crisp image that it's great for even like, you know, friggin' DOS, Windows 98, you know, the games in that whole range and era get such a great image quality from Voodoo 3, for example, or a lot of Voodoo cards. Some of the earlier Voodoo, I know Voodoo Rush had some image quality problems, and Banshee probably is not quite as good either, but my modern monitor is actually a little old now. I bought it a few years ago, but it's an LG ultra-wide, like 3440 by 1440. I don't remember the model, but it is a just one of the earlier ultra-wides. So it's definitely not as, like, it's not fast. It's like 60 hertz. It wasn't necessarily branded as a gaming monitor. I really wanted to get into ultra-wide, which I've enjoyed a lot since. I would love an upgrade, but it's always hard to spend the $700 to $1,000 you have to spend to get a really nice ultra wide at this point. So, all right, let's see what Spider-Man's all about then, and how well it runs on this machine. It's probably gonna use very, very licensed music, isn't it? Oh well. Yeah, 1440p monitor is really nice. That feels like a natural step, and it doesn't, like, 4K is nice, but just 1440p is just really, really nice. Yeah, and I can't remember, it was Alienware, right? That came out with an ultra-wide, high resolution, or not, an ultra-wide 1440p high refresh rate, like 120 hertz OLED. And that feels like that's the monitor. Oh, that's fine. I don't mind. But that's the monitor. If I were to upgrade, that's one I would love to get that. If nothing else, a more modern IPS panel. Because what I find, especially with editing... Fantastic. Is this the one that was on GameCube and PlayStation 2 as well? Let's see, what do we have here? 640 by 480. It is set. It's fixed. Oh, there we go. Oh, let's see if we can do this. Keyboard. Yeah, that's the first thing I heard. Tsuka Spider Pig. That's the first thing that popped in my mind. Oh my. Up, down, left, right, and then pad. So it's like this. Can we do... Jump. Pad 6, 4, 8. Swing is not... Okay, that's fine.
Kid mode!
Oh, for Pete's sake. Zoe went behind. You know the shelf I have behind me here now? It's not filled in at the bottom, and I think she decided to crawl in all the way back. So we'll see if something falls off here. We'll see. Oh, that's right. Didn't we try this on the PlayStation 1 core? I don't think 1024 is a good one.
Single truth, a truth based in technological
Zoe?
progress and scientific method. We will be unstoppable.
I, Dr.
Oh
Otto
my.
Octavius, vow as a scientist and businessman that my duties to humankind will be fulfilled. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. She's knocking stuff over. I've come in down here sometimes, and I've seen the game boxes be pushed out on some shelves, and I'm like, yep, that was Zoe. She crawled behind and pushed there.
Just keep shooting, Eddie. When J. Jonah Jameson sees these photos, my career is gonna be right back on track.
Chunky models.
Just backstage.
I wonder, this is just a video, right? But it's running really choppy.
Who dares? Face me, coward. Face a worthy foe.
ESDF? Nah. I used to play when I got Quake the first time. I played it with like a Z, D, and V, I think. Like that. A weird combination, but that's kind of what it did.
Can't get a shot. Jameson would pay any price to get this kind of dirt on Spider-Man.
Yeah, she's helping me. She's an enabler.
That was Eddie Brock.
Who the? He looked familiar, but whatever. Stay focused, Brock.
What's going on here?
He's stealing Octavius's device. Oh no! He sees me. My camera! No!
No. There's the arrow keys too. It's just once you get used to that kind of one hand on one left side and one on the right, it's hard to go back now.
I can hear Jameson's voice already.
Brock, you loser! If I had given a real photographer that job,
Yeah, it's like in-ended and everything here. I mean, it's in-end and rendering, right? But
when I am done with you, you won't be able to get a job taking wedding pictures in Siberia!
I tried to fight it. Can't fight him anymore.
and there's Venom. Ta-da! Nice, nice models. They're animations.
Prey to the evil of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Rest easy, Brock. Venom
Yeah, which is why it's weird it's so choppy too. I wouldn't expect that because it's reading it from the hard drive, right? So
Jameson and the insect are gonna pay.
it's really jerky.
Phase 1 completed. Let us begin.
It's a long cutscene too. All right, I bet we're gonna punch some stuff.
Welcome, true believers and newcomers alike. Spider-Man
Stan
co-creator
Lee.
Stan Lee here. Once
Yeah,
again,
so this is the
joined by
PlayStation 1. We played this on the PS1 core, actually, when the PlayStation 1 live stream
Spider-Man in a heap of trouble.
rendered at a much higher
This is
resolution
just the
here.
beginning, Spidey fans. So get ready for a
But I
twist
think we're
and
probably
turns.
pushing a little bit of 1024. I think we have to go back down to 800 by 600 probably. Yeah, that's true. Actually, it was 16-bit as well.
Non-stop web-slinging, wall-crawling action.
Yeah, it's not like in this resolution here. Okay.
What's going on?
Can we set it to... Oh, you got it, okay. You gotta set it, go into the menu here. So let's see, we'll go to 800 by 600 on 16-bit, and we'll see if that's better. Oh, continue.
Technology is the light that will cut.
Yeah, I think 16 was probably the key there.
True believers and
That seems
newcomers
less jerky
alike.
for sure.
Spider-Man co-creator Stan Lee here. Once again,
Follow the Spidey compass. Hopefully I don't fall to my untimely demise. Still pretty choppy. Surprising.
It's tingling. Something's going on here.
Get that looked at. Wow, the sound effects for the punching was dramatically higher volume than the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's right.
Aha. Woo. I mean, it plays like a cool Spider-Man game. Oh, I realized the capture's all wonky there. Stand by. There we go. Freaking weird resolutions it's picking up. Yeah, it's almost a little... You're right, it's a little too sharp there.
Whoa, police choppers.
Spider-Man never kills anyone, but that guy totally did not fall off a building there. A dude here somewhere? Camera. Early 3D games and cameras. Oh no, they use guns. They're super effective. You have to swing on those? Yeah. I like this, like, kind of open structure. That's pretty cool. I mean, I think we all missed this era, right? But it's just, I don't know. The chunky geometry. And I'm glad we're getting a lot of stuff like this. As a kid, if I was in Spider-Man, and especially around this time, I would have loved this, right? So... But those people died there. Alright, but today, of course, we have games like the Spider-Man and Miles Morales on modern PlayStation stuff, which is coming now to PC as well. So we're real spoiled on that level, but... Whoa, it did not like that transition there. It feels like the render distance is too far.
Yeah, just my luck. I'll probably get blamed for that, too. Is that the bank ahead?
Because this is really high... I mean, it's like high... The textures are really high resolution. Or not high, but they're really sharp.
Thanks for the heads
And it feels like... if this was PlayStation 1 game, so surprising that it's this sharp. Excuse me.
I'll be able to reach the next building. I'm already at full health. I bet I can get into the bank through the top of this building.
That was fascinating anyway, because here again is Radeon, which is technically a pretty powerful car, but this came out in 2001. Must be just a really janky port. You saw nothing.
Wouldn't wanna be ya.
Yep, guys, toast.
That's the
Just
last one.
Blew off a building.
You're still all right.
Whee! That's the well, the textures are, you know, there you go, inside.
Well, I hope they don't mind if I make a quick deposit. Looks like I've got company.
I'm glad he's vanquishing these, just like, they just disappear.
Do have hostages. To make sure they don't get hurt.
Oh, I gotta get out of here.
Ow. Where's my web shooter here? There we go.
Looks like that room there controls the security doors. Doors
Find a way into the room.
inside. There's gotta be another way in.
Add 3 to zip. Oh yeah, it's trying to be a little creative with the a vent here somewhere. Uh-huh. Again, it's the...
Looks like these switches can open the security doors.
What?
Oh yeah.
Shoot the... Okay. Can I open all of them? It's funny how many of the, that's fine. Spider-Man. Oh, it crashed. Oh no. How unfortunate. Good while it lasted there. I'm gonna try it one more time. Question, is it driver? Is it the game? Is it, you know, whatever? Who knows? Let's see, is the option set? No, still, I kept it, so. Didn't. I saved it. Oh. Oh well. Hope you don't mind if I don't restart it there, but it's still a neat game. I think it's, I mean, for the era and everything, and it's very fascinating, I have to say, that they moved it from, like, PlayStation 1. It's extra configuration from there. Let's take a look. Display adapter selector. Which is a selector. Yep, there's a configuration, you're right. But it is just one to pick from, so. Still, I mean, it's like, it's a fascinating game for being the console ported to PC, and it also highlights how many times there was really not great ports. Like, this game, of course, so then the PlayStation 1, this game would have been in, like, you know, 97, 98, maybe at best, like thereabouts, right? That could be later too, but then for a PC port to show up like in 2001, that's pretty late for that. But I'm also surprised how it handled the textures there and everything. It felt like it was like over sharped. Like it was really pushing it too far. You know, 800 by 600, you think that game should run. There's not like complex geometry or anything, right? It should have run pretty okay, but it definitely struggled there. That I do not. 2000? This is pretty late there. What I do have is Midtown Madness. Where's the Midtown Madness? Ooh. We detected hardware acceleration. I just want to play a little racing game now. Why is it? It's always detecting really, really bizarre resolutions. High. 800 by 600. Gotta do the Beetle. See how this runs here now. Yeah, it's picking up very bizarre resolutions.
Welcome to the city of Chicago.
The city of
I gotta
Chicago.
say, I'm rather fond of this town, so please, try to leave it where you found it.
Yeah, this runs really well at this resolution. Now, we set all the settings to max or performance, right? So you can see the texture on the vehicle is very blurry as a result, but, oh, we do have a nice performance. This is the guy, hey. Look at the blurry there. We may have to set these settings back to a little higher than, I forgot how good car physics have gotten over time. And it's just, car physics is also a little bit of a Wild West on...
The finish line, pal!
The finish line, pal! Chicago! I was in a training class one time, and the dude, the instructor, was from Chicago, and he's like, my town has like a... Whoa! I think we broke the Matrix.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, he was really fond of the town I live in because they have a really good, like, Chicago dog place here, and like, and he just kept raving on about it because he had visited here and had those. And I was like, all right, that is probably Direct 3D, I'm guessing, right? So, we'll use the default settings again and see what it looks like now. That was very blur. 440. I'm not sure why it fixed a weird resolution. Let's do another quick race. I think they have the... The Roadster. Yes. Red. Go drive.
It's high noon in the Windy City. Get ready to head downtown for a showdown.
That's definitely sharper. Look at the checkpoint up there. Oh, I just picked the same race. Alright, well, let's see if I can get the race menu. I'll do a different one. Alright, thanks for stopping by, Suka. I know it's pretty late for you already, so see you later. Do a cruise, a circuit race. Downtime driver, there we go. Can't change that. There we go. Do a different stage. Yeah, I'm not sure. It is because it is just like picking up like 119 hertz. Oh, we got some. Don't like that flickering there. Let's see, 800 by 600. There we go. Yeah, I'm very particular about this kind of stuff. So, yeah, that is true. It's easy to think like, you know, you're playing this on a higher monitor now. I'm playing on a 19-inch CRT, but it was something else for that. But they like the reflections. This is pretty cool, though. The physics is, it's so, like, there's no momentum or weight to the vehicle. It just turns on a dime and then oversteers very quickly. And like that, it's, yeah. They're like finicky controls. I remember playing this the first time thinking like, well, you gotta be able to run stuff over, right? And you can't. They all dodge out of the way. Not Carmageddon. Oh, such wobbly physics. It's not glide, but here the Radeon, of course, is, you know, more than enough powerful to do this, but whoa. Boy. Are we repairing this game? I can't remember. Feel like everyone else. Ooh, nice little echo there. It just oversteers immediately. I can't remember if this is a repair. Control. Who knows? The graphic options again. Detail high, on. We're at full settings here, so. Yeah, the oversteering is hilarious. And Motocross Madness is on here as well. That one is... yeah. We're fine. We're fine. It's like I tap, and it's like, because it's... controls are given like a full steering lock. If I blame... that's the thing, like when you use keyboard, it needs to have a little weight to the feel of the steer a little bit, so it gives you a little bit of a smoother experience that is like max turn like that. Wait, oversteer.
5 seconds and you're as good as new.
Well, yeah, I lost a wheel and I got a 5-second penalty. Pretty generous. Whee! It's got a charm to it. But I don't remember playing any of the Midtown Madness games very long. And just like having a little bit of fun in multiplayer maybe, and playing a little bit myself. But it's not a game I sat down and played for hours and hours, I think. I don't think the Panos Roadster is powerful enough to just do this over and over. It's like a GM V6, I think. 200 some horsepower. Nice echo. Whoa. I'll turn up a little bit so you guys can hear the... it's frankly awful engine sound.
Final checkpoint.
Hi.
So, things didn't go so well. Believe me, pal. We've all barked in ant space before.
Uh-huh. Try a different race here. And the resolution again. Keep pushing the wrong button. Let's do that's a circuit race. Just cruise around. Do a blitz. Huge freaking truck. Yeah, there we go. We'll just drive a massive freaking truck instead.
As the sun sets slowly on a city of big shoulders, commuters are scrambling for their cars.
Good luck, everyone
Last one
else.
on the expressway is a rotten egg.
Oh. I didn't put a truck in this game. I'm an entitled douche nozzle driving in the city the first time. Out of my way. Coming through. Coming through. You need remastered? There's a game you may want to pick up for remastering. I think the neat thing too is, of course, that it tries to use like real life, real Chicago locations, right? So that's neat.
Hell, now go for the finish.
Oh, you have to like, oh. I picked a very poor vehicle for that one. I'm gonna try a different race here again with that truck. Well, the stuff is annoying there. The checkpoint race. North River. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, that one's
Hey, a friendly word of advice.
that was a
Don't
good one
forget
to
buckle up.
that was one that went pretty far on that one, so what is madness? Oh, should have gone that way. Out of my way. Yep. Racing a full-size truck. Play it more like Carmageddon. Yeah, again, I miss this like era of, you know, 3D and oh, Zoe, out of my way! Boy, really is not having a good time there with the 800 by 600 there with the yeah. Doing it. Oh, we're at full clip now. I'm not last place. It was like watching any of the Fast and Furious movies where, like, you know, it's about family, and then they, like, just straight up kill people. Like Dom when he escapes with the bank vault at one time. There's a, you know, body count YouTube channel where they just take action movies and see the body count, and that just kept picking up like crazy, because, I mean, he's just... Yeah. Don't worry about it. Why don't the police do anything here? Oh, oh my goodness, he gave me quite a boost there.
Come on, now get to the finish line, pal.
Yep. Too bad about all those tourists in that bus. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get last this time. It's so heavy, it doesn't oversteer as much. Oh, that was a poor choice. That was a terrible choice. Oh. Family. To be fair, I love those movies because they're so cheesy and ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know there's anywhere they can go now. They've been to space in a Fiero. I mean, where else can they go? I don't know what else is left. In a volcano, maybe? Underwater? kind of did the submarine thing already. It was a whammy. It was like ice and underwater.
Hey, I don't want to beat around a bush, but I gotta tell you, pal, you were slow.
I know, I drove a huge truck. Alright, that's enough Midtown Madness there now. There isn't much more to that game as far as that goes. Hi, Zoe. Another one that's... Yeah, we have Motocross Madness here now, too. Got a few other games. These are stuff that I loaded up for the LAN party. This machine was part of that little LAN party thing. So, played a lot of games on here, of course, that ran just fine. We're Carmageddon 2 there. I don't have... Jedi Knight is installed. Mistress of the Sith, yeah. I didn't play that, really, but I have the regular games in here, too. Let's see. Oh, that's right. I did put on another game on here that I want to try again and see if it works. I think it crashed, but it is one that looked really cool. Let's try it again. And that is... I don't think I need an ISO for that, no. That is Slave Zero, which is another game of that kind of era that looks really cool. Well, yeah, the refresh rates are just messing with me. Not to say the Radeon is a bad card or anything. I think it's just got overshadowed really quick. And this will be then the... I mean, as I understand it, basically the strongest model of this card that there is. So what you're seeing is the max performance. Now, no, not max performance, I should say that. A much faster CPU would really help. Yeah, when it comes to Star Wars stuff, that's near impossible. Pretty much anything I put a Star Wars on gets flagged. I mean, it's fine. I don't make any ad money on that level. And playing Star Wars games without music is just... I don't know. Yeah, just this stuff. Again, you get that cool chunky graphics, early acceleration. Slave Zero is one that's a little earlier, but then plays quite well on this card. I think LGR is a big fan of this game. I think you've seen him cover this several times. Like mechs in a city and everything. Oh, that's cool. A dithering going on there, even. That's loud. It is something really cool here with this. I mean, the mechs and the scale is impressive for the era. I mean, it's got definitely some Shogo vibes here, too. High ambition on this game. Oh, good. Slave Zero. Let's see what we have for video right now. I think I have 640, 480, 16, so... we'll keep it up. I don't know. I'm having a good time with the 640 by 480. We'll do 32-bit, though. Clip range normal. I don't know what... Multiple resolution geometry on-off. I don't know what that means. Bump mapping on. There we go. And 640 by 480 again. There we go. All right. So yeah, this is Slave Zero. It's kind of like a mech game. Controls. Nope, that was first-person view on off. Yeah, I'll just play it. Now, I did test it, and it did crash, so I might be something. We'll see. Nice heft to it there.
Slave Zero prototype shows all systems nominal. Guardian Chan, you are a go for assault on Comrade. And careful, Guardian.
I feel like we're doing like a 640 by 480 honor lap now, or just like...
Welcome to the... We've got to destroy this sector's communications array by taking out its 3 core generators. Once the array is down, you'll be able to penetrate the lab safely.
Look at the scale here.
Is ahead 0.9 clicks. You'll have 2 more after that, so stay alert. We'll be tracking your progress from here.
Ease jump. Okay, there we go. And it crashed. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, because when I was testing this game too, it just crashed. It looks really cool. I don't know why it's crashing. If it's a driver issue, I believe I'm running with the latest patch on it, so it just nothing, it just crashes. So it may not like the driver pack I have on this one, unfortunately. So that's kind of a bummer there. I do have another game that I loaded up that we'll try instead, but yeah, that's too bad. I'm not sure why it just crashes. I mean, there's something bad. I'm assuming the driver, but it looks really, really neat, and I think that a faster machine probably would have a good time with that. But yeah, it is very Transformers kind of Michael Bay over the top, but it looks like a really lot of fun if it plays. But this may not be the machine for it. So another game that definitely pushes this a little bit is, let me do this. Don't think I have a ISO for this. No. I played this game and had a good time with it when it came out. It's Project IGA, or I'm Going In. Again, it's messing with the... And it is a fully open, like, you can, like, approach any way you want. So, goodness. You can approach... It's cat hair everywhere. You can approach mission objectives any way you want. It's kind of a bit of a Far Cry 3 thing to it, in the sense that you have a huge area and you kind of can tackle it any way you want. And we're hopping games a lot now, but we're running 800 by 600, but I'm gonna stick with the 640 by 40 here, just for the chunkiness. Late Project Iggy. I'm Going In. I remember my friends and I thought this was so cool that you can kind of tackle things the way you wanted to. You can go anywhere you want. Not go anywhere you want to, but they give you a big sandbox of a base to infiltrate, and kind of any way you see fit how to get in there with multiple paths. And that, to me, feels very like Far Cry-ish, or Far Cry 3 or 4 or whatever.
Yeah. I need to know one thing. Where he is.
But of course, it's, you know, military shooter.
Transport waiting.
You'll cover the ground using locally resourced transportation assets.
Mm-hmm.
You mean I have to steal something?
Exactly. You will travel to the next goods yard.
Of course, a quippy radio with a quippy...
There are 3 stages. 1. Acquire transportation assets. 2. Disable
Tap.
3.
I think this uses a proprietary engine even, if anyone wants to look it up, but Project IGI, or I'm Going In, I don't think it uses another engine that, like, they built an engine that's wide open. Because, I mean, it may not feel as impressive now playing this, but this is very wide open areas that you can tackle, so...
So we call it and
cat hair everywhere.
The mobile is located at a military airfield. That's where Yosef is. That's our primary target.
See, I'm trying to think, like, would I actually keep this Radeon in anything in particular? I'm not sure. Like, would I have it as a stable card all the time? This machine really... You're strong, Brad. How do you type with your gloves on? Whee! Look at that seamless transition there. Still definitely not smooth. I most likely will play this on a faster machine than this. Look at that climb animation. Wiggle, wiggle. Oh no, the cursed problem with any game, the ladder. Picked up Uzi. It's got a little GoldenEye vibes to it, you know. Oh, I can't use it. Yeah, 640. This will definitely be a thing to run on Faster machine. Computer room. And it's not an easy game either. It's meant to be challenging, so you just like hacky hacky hack hack. Security cameras offline for 2 minutes. That's all you can hack? Yeah, you're supposed to kind of sneak around and get everything, but you can go on the hills and everything, and it's pretty impressively open here. Yeah, I'd have to get that too. I don't have it installed or anything like that. So eventually I'll build up enough of a stable to have all the games. But so this looks like a good garage here for transportation assets. But they give you kind of like carte blanche on how to... Oh, that's just... And you can't take many hits either, so... He died through the wall. Try that again. It's got a little bit of a Commandos feel to it, that like you have to figure out the best way to do this. Slowly but surely work your way through it. I know I'm game hopping a whole bunch now, but I realized Play Zero would have been good to play more, but of course it's very, very broken there, so. I remember that. That was terrible. I think someone built a Visual Basic GUI on a website that you could use to track your IP, and they used that, and it gives a whole bunch of stuff, and, you know, makes it look cool, whatnot. Ooh, I can probably... Can I cut power here? No. Look at this. Why open vistas? But I certainly ran this game on a newer machine, but this is 2000, so... Okay. So it would be inappropriate for this. There you go. So pretty late 2000 then, yeah. The Radeon would have been a card that was sold in stores at the time that this came out then, at least. So there's that. I had friends who were really into military shooters, and we would play this together and see how we could tackle the objectives and get through. And if you like that sort of thing, this game's really cool, so. Yes, Oni we played before as well, and I was not very good at it. What did we play that on? Certainly not this card. I'm trying to remember what we used for that stream. But it is a really cool game. Very cool game. I want to give it another fair shake at some point, but I was having a hard time with it. I was dying a lot. There's a hangar over there. I assume that's where I want to be. Are there just dudes standing here now? There we go. Picked up an AK-47. As I was challenged with these variety streams where I stream a whole bunch of games, like which games should I cover and which ones should I do, because there's always going to be a different... Oh. Yeah, I think the gun turret spotted me. Oh, ouch, 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 ouch. Oh, we have a long ladder to climb. I'm gonna shot as soon as I step up here. This can only end one way. I'm amazed I did not die from that. Yeah, this is... ooh, zipline. This is Project IGI, or Project I'm Going In. And it's very much like, here's an open base, and you have objectives you need to complete, and it's really up to you which order you tackle them in. Very much like a Commandos feel in that sense. It's realistic in the sense that you can't just keep taking pulls. Like you see, I've been shot a few times, and I have almost no health left. And you can kind of get around the base to do whatever you want, so... really? Oh, zipline and... So I assume this is the, okay. Yeah, very Ghost Recon, I suppose. This is the place you land or get to, not the... Alright, here we go. Wiggle down. Like a centipede. Oh, sorry, I need to hit the microphone. Like a centipede thing. Mesmerizing. Oh, there's a camera right there, too. Exploded. So this is a game that, like, you know, it's fun to kind of figure out a way to get through everything, right? I better find some health back here soon. I'm gonna make it. Can jump pretty far. Grenades, huh? Picked up a hand grenade. Dudes here. I'll scrounge for supplies and everything. Alright, thanks for stopping by, Pixel. Oh, that's fine. It's more fun when people talk and chat and whatnot, so I wouldn't worry about it. Oh. Good thing that the camera's got a big blinking green light on it, too. Oh. Don't want to get spotted. Any supplies in here? Nothing. Oh, that's not good. It's a very exciting one to end on here, but it's hard for me not to want to play this game as like a... as a, like, just a freaking boomer shooter almost, but it's trying to be more realistic, right? Trying to. And certainly while this game is not running great on this machine and card, I think that you would have, you know, I would have played like this and probably toughened it out. I think these things are placed so conveniently here. Oh. AK-47, alright. Any health packs? Climb the fence into the next section. Ooh. Anyone played a Full Throttle? A section in the game where you're inspecting like motorcycle parts to find like a serial number or something. And you click it and it goes, constantly, and it's just hilarious. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Ah. And 1 health left. No one's been alerted that there's this... I mean, there they are now, but... a lot of gunfire around here. No one seems to really care too much. Yeah, the camera's really... I'm gonna die when I fall down here now, aren't I? Garage. From where I need to be. Not gonna end well here now. 1 bullet and I'm done for. Ah! The game is mission failed. Mission failed. This is Project IGI, or Project I'm Going In, and it's kind of like a tackle a base any way you want, a military shooter in that sense. And I tackled it very well, right up to the point where I was not alive anymore, which made it difficult to complete my mission. So I'm sure there was a dude that just probably in the garage over there or something. And I think the biggest thing with this game is more like, yes, more, you know, not necessarily like full stealth, but it's more Splinter Cell or Ghost Recon or something that you have to be, you know, like take your time and be careful in the sense that, again, you can't take many hits, like as it is, you take a few bullets and you're down, so. But it's neat, and it's probably the extreme that this computer will do, so. I'll probably end this on lighter fare, but I think that Keeps doing weird resolution, but that's probably the lowest setting we can there, I think. We can go to 640 by 16. Oh, so that's graphics detail. Let's see if we can run to make it a little smoother. I'm curious if we can. 16-bit, much lower detail. Again, like I mentioned earlier, fully proprietary engine with its own settings and everything.
Good work getting here so fast.
Oh my. Well, now it looks like freaking Counter-Strike here now, but it's still not smooth. This is a game for a newer machine, for sure. Because, I mean, a P3 would have been... The time this game came out, late 90... Or late 2000, late 90... Or early 2001. And here, now it's playable, but, you know... I want to see that wiggle. I'm gonna have a lot of fun animating that climb cycle there. Boy, I really cut down on the, I really cut down on the quality. Oh. Ah! Yeah, like that. If you're playing this for real now, you're probably just giving up because, I mean, you already lost so much health. We got a zipline over there. Mostly I can see the walk animation. Oh boy, cut that on the quality. Look at that aliasing there on the on the zipline. That would be funny too if you just set that to a lower quality and you get less weapons. But yeah, this would have been the, you know, the very extended part of here. But, I mean, the CPU then would have been, you know, 2 years old, basically, almost. Or a year and a half. Maybe I can shoot while I'm ziplining. I cannot shoot while I'm ziplining. He's just so strong. Ah. Look, he's so strong. He's just gripping him with his hands. There's that guy we've been hunting. He's just ziplining over. Why did he do that? So actually, I am going to be out of town next week. There will not be a stream next week. I will post an announcement, but yeah, go for it. So it's yeah, I will not be streaming next week. I'll be out of town with the whole family. We're taking a little vacation out of town to take a break. So this will be the last this will be the last stream for GPU June for me. So apparently when you play a military shooter that tries to be pretty hardcore, not hardcore, tries to be pretty realistic, just going in guns blazing on the zipline where we just... This is terrible. So the game, I think, is really cool, but you have to approach it real like a Commandos game. Like, you have to strategize and fight your way through, and, you know, it does take a lot of planning, so... But what else can we finish out on here? Something that, you know, you play something older like GL Quake, it will crash. It will crash hardcore. I think because I have the 3DFX LAN driver in there, probably. The mini driver. Maybe not. Correction, Quake does not launch at all. But that was a good try, at least. I think I did mess with that. One thing I'm pretty sure runs is an Unreal Tournament. Now, this would have been, you know, very period accurate. In 99, the video card came out a little bit later, so. You and John Doe. Alien vs. Predator, I had a lot of fun with that in LAN multiplayer, 1 and 2. Friends and I would play that, and I always play Alien and just freak him out by, you can push a button to taunt, and you hissed. It was such a dark game.
In an attempt to control violence among
the worst audio quality of any audio clip in any game ever is this section here. We have a lot of stuttering.
Working with the NEG, established a series of leagues and bloody.
I have a feeling it's got to be a driver. I'm out of time. I'll try the older driver for this one. It seems like it's just struggling a lot with here. Oh wow, that's neat. I have a feeling one of the scaling settings we're using is not doing so hot here. video. Can we change? Yes, let's change. Can I run as an OpenGL? Detecting 3D video devices. Something really new. Okay, direct 3D support. Compatible with newer video cards like the Riva TNT, ATI H 128, Matrox G400, and S3 Savage 4. Not recommended for use with the early video cards. Use the soft render if you have ATI Rage Pro, Riva 128, or Rendition Verite. I might have tried that in OpenGL, and that's why I was not handling it. I think this card likes direct 3D better than OpenGL. Hi there, Andrew. I'm not sure. I mean, making a video will be awesome too, but I'm not sure what the Viper 2 Z200 is. I do have a Viper V3 something, and then the Viper, the 550 and the 7 whatever, which is the TNT, and a TNT 2. There we go. That looks a lot better. That's me. It's the likeness is uncanny. All right, let's do... Which is the... Capture flag. You guys know what's coming here now. There it is. Interesting. So Savage... Huh. Yeah, if it did, I mean, I'd be interested in messing with that. So I just recently got into the S3 stuff. I feel like my aiming is inverted, but look at how smooth this is now compared to IGI.
First blood. Headshot. Headshot. I'm in position.
Oh. I think my controls are inverted here. Something feels very wrong. Input. There we go.
Killing spree. Headshot.
It never gets old on this level.
Headshot.
Oh, I'm out of ammo. Oh. Stop camping. We'll assault the base.
Headshot.
There we go.
Headshot.
Hello, come on. Woo! It's a little disorienting. But yeah, if it is a Savage 2000, that's a chip I would very much be interested in taking a look at. It's Rampage. It is one of those I can't remember what the commands are for giving them orders. What is that? Controls. Let's see. Taunts, chat, thrust, teammates. Quick console key, tab probably, right? Oops, that's just a boom headshot. Oh, come on, don't cram.
Headshot.
Redeemer there too, but yeah.
Headshot.
This game, of course, runs great on here. There we go. V, orders. Take their flag. I'll cover you. Very good here. I may not have too many bots on here, so. But yeah, certainly if you're interested in having me cover that, that'd be awesome, because I'm curious on the S2000. It is a very peculiar card. I'm not sure how, I mean, like, you know, Pixel is the authority when it comes to, like, video card coverage, but it'll be fascinating to see what it can do. I know Phil covered the S2000, right? But it was just, like, not the S2000. But, like, it just wasn't, not done enough, like, I got their flag.
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Headshot. I need some backup. Headshot.
A dude down here? Come on, you guys can handle that. Yay! Yeah, that was the thing. Like, it was completely lacking that, right? Monster kill. Ultra kill. Godlike. Cheesing it. Ultra cheesing it. I miss playing this in LAN. That's so much fun. Yeah, it is, like, especially with retro stuff, if you have specific ones you're after, then it gets expensive real fast, and it's unfortunate. Like, I feel like, I know, I know there's always people gonna make money off this stuff, but it feels unfortunate that you're basically just, you know, you're draining money from the community in that sense. Like, I don't mind charging some fee for it, but it's like when stuff gets sold for really high prices, and it keeps driving up too, but oh well. I get off my soapbox now, but... Headshot. I got the flag. The bots are pretty capable in this game, actually, so... There we go. Stop moving. Can't hit you. You can play this level with just one... And it's interesting how smooth the mouse is here, considering that it's still just a ball mouse, but, I mean, it's... The smoothening here is just perfect, so...
Congratulations, you are the winner.
Oh, yes. I cheesed the whole thing through. That and a Redeemer here, but I remember playing in multiplayer, and just like, you know... Oh, I guess there was only 5 players on here, whoops. Had more there, but... how fun it was just to... I don't think there's many bots in here right now. This game runs very smooth on here, but this is a game I think that... Oh. I'm a die on... Oh. That was a good start.
I'm in position.
Then we're gonna stop me. A long run here.
First blood. Double kill.
There was a flag around here. Yeah, I know. That's what I realized too. I don't have enough bots in here. I don't remember this map at all. It's pretty unfair right now. I realize I'm just cheesing it through this whole thing here. How do I get out? There we go. That's crazy. 2 such different games that went for the same thing. I mean, I prefer Unreal Tournament, I think, personally. I just enjoy the design and style and feel of the game than Quake, but they're both very fine games, of course. Do. Yeah, I realize the bots aren't really there, but regardless, the game runs, of course, great, but it's like I'm stretching it thin there now, but it's a fine game and it's a fine card, but then I'm getting interested more and more into the less, I don't know, the less mainstream cards. Not that the Radeon wasn't, where's my mouse? There it is. Not that the Radeon wasn't like a, you know, mainstream card per se, but, you know, it's probably not the first choice for many. So I'm trying to think of like what would be a really good pair for the Radeon? Like what kind of games would you play with it? Because I was thinking about that a little bit too, and I like having the more period accurate stuff. And while this is a 2000 video card, like it feels like it would hold better with the 97, 98, 99 era games. Like Unreal Tournament there runs great, right? And if you push it too far in the future, like you saw with IGI there, now that engine may not be the most optimized, I'm guessing either. But that was really, really rough, right? So that's the thing, is like what's the actual like time frame for this card? And I think something I enjoy is the fact that yes, there was you got a new video card at the time in the 2000s or the late 90s, and you could play a lot of cool games. But as a retro gamer, if you look a little backwards there, there's a lot of really good experiences to have there. And I think that two things with Spider-Man there. I think one thing, a controller would help probably a lot. It's just not a natural feel for a keyboard, I think. And then I have to say it's weird the way, and don't get me wrong, it was a really fascinating game to see. Really weird how the rendering was done. Like, I mean, is it just me or was that like overly sharp? Like it was like almost too high quality, if that makes sense. Especially considering it's coming from a PS1 game, really chunky and all that stuff. And it was kind of weird, but I don't know what engine it runs on. I'm sure it's proprietary, like many games were at that time. But yeah, I got really interested in a lot of these like odd cards. So yeah, if you want to have me take a look at the 2000, that'd be awesome. I just got the S3 or the S3 Savage 4 Extreme, so that was pending here now to be used. But I'm always curious, like, what would be a good machine for that kind of stuff? Because it's fun to do an individual test on a card and mess with it and stuff like that, but like in this case here, this is a, you know, pretty period accurate machine. Although you might have a lower power P4 and XP. Maybe the XP is a better spot for this card, is what I'm guessing, versus 98, right? The Apocalypse engine. Interesting. I don't think I ever heard of that, but so I know that Phil, when he tested his Radeon, he did it on XP, and a lot of tweak settings for the Catalyst driver and everything runs in XP, but not in Windows 98. So yeah, might be better for a XP machine, if you will. But then that card becomes a little lackluster performance-wise, right? Too, as you get newer into the, because I mean XP is 2001. Once you get to 2002, 2003, then that Radeon card is just not gonna keep up, right? So then you get into newer cards. So it's a very narrow card, but at the same time, it was ATI's really first step into making a new video card from scratch, right? So I'm trying to think, what card came after the Radeon? Like directly, what was the sequel to the Radeon? Because I mean, they have the X series and all that stuff, and well, I don't know if I'm blanking. Oh, the 9000 series, of course, which just wasn't, well, I guess the 8000, never mind. So you have the 8000, the 8500, which is a solid card. I have an 8500 All Wonder, which we streamed on this machine quite a bit, actually. And then the 9000, which was amazing. So they had a good run of Radeon cards there for a while. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we have, I think you're the closest to that going over the 7500 there. I'm not sure which came first, if 7500 was the sequel to that or the 8000 series. But like we said earlier, they correlate kind of DirectX 7, 8, and 9 or whatever. But yeah, good run for ATI there. All right, thanks to my Revenant, and thanks again for your generous donation. But yeah, it's a fascinating era. I kind of hanker for that late 90s and early 2000s rendering, because it is something special. Like I'm thinking like, you know, Homeworld, then yeah, that Giant Citizen Kabuto, you know, Black and White's a little bit later, of course, but just that kind of pretty early janky stuff. So, but yeah, I think we're gonna cut it off there. Fascinating card. The Voodoo file will be back in here now again to this machine pretty soon. As I mentioned, there will be no stream next week. I will post something in Discord and probably tweet out about it. But yeah, we're leaving town for next week for vacation. Maybe see some pictures on Twitter for that. So keep an eye on there. Otherwise, I will come back the week after that and do some regular streaming, non-GPU related. So, Windows NT 4 on the Mister. Well, I guess I post that. Yeah, it's got a 46. It can do it. So I'm not sure how much it would get out of it, but it's still neat. Still neat. So, all right. Yep. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Have a good week and a weekend, and then a good 4th of July weekend if I don't see you before that. And then I'll check out your video, Solar. And then hope everyone has a good rest of June, and I will see you when I'm back. All right. Good night. Have a good one. I'll see you next time in 2 weeks. See you later.